of the seniors are being introduced, are being chosen to be co-captains here this evening across the way. Number 44, Tom Gatewood, and number 85, Walt Sapolsky, will act as acting captain for the Irish of Notre Dame tonight. And now here's the traditional march to midfield. Two who are shaking hands with Gatewood and Sapolsky, and number 48, Louis Cascio, and number 89, Ken Cavanaugh. Right now, the officials are being introduced to all of the captains. This is one of the formalities, of course, of collegiate football. And certainly it adds to the spectacle that is collegiate football. So the Tigers looking for win number 7. Here's the toss of the coin. Notre Dame won the toss, elected to receive. LSU will kick off and defend the south goal. Right now, we'll tell you, this is the LSU Football Network. Get set for the kickoff. The average American family on the road needs more than just an average oil in their car, because the heat that builds up in your car's crankcase from things like sustained high speed or heavy load driving can make a mess out of your motor oil, because heat through oxidation breaks down the components of ordinary motor oil. And when that oil cools, you've got a sludge-like substance that can lead to some pretty hefty repair bills. But with Texaco's Haviland Super Premium All-Temperature Motor Oil, you can put your mind at ease. Haviland Super Premium resists thickening under these high-temperature conditions. It also prevents rust, wear, and sludge deposits. Haviland Super Premium also protects anti-pollution devices better than ever, helping to minimize emissions. So it might be a good idea to use Haviland Super Premium All-Temperature Motor Oil. That way, you'll know that you have a motor oil that can beat the heat. For products you can trust, trust your car to the man who wears the Texaco star. Number 42, Dale Miller, tees the ball up at the South 40. Hill and Simonic to the deep ones for the Fighting Irish. Miller will kick it off. To call the play-by-play, here's the voice of the Tigers, John Ferguson.
Thank you, Walter. Good evening, everybody. Greg Hill and Gary Diminick are standing inside the Tiger 5, and here comes Dale Miller up on the ball, and he boots it. It is going to number 22, Greg Hill. He's out to the 10, the 15, the 20, the 21-yard line, and is dumped at the 21-yard line. Several Tigers, including Gary Champagne and Boyd Perry, earn on the tackle. It is 1st and 10 for Notre Dame at the Notre Dame 21-yard line. The Tigers were bested by the Irish at South Bend last year, 3-0. LSU in the white jerseys, and in the dark ones, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Quarterback is Cliff Brown. Andy Huff is at fullback. Brown takes the ball, gives off to Huff, gaping hole in the middle. He rams through to the 30-yard line, spins off to the left, and is dumped at the 35. Joe Winkler makes the stop, and it is a Notre Dame first down and 10 yards to go. Out of the wishbone tee, the Irish blast ahead for 14 yards. It is Andy Huff, who has gained 253 yards already this year, starting as the prize. In the eye now, again, Huff shoots up the middle and picks up about 3 or 4 yards, and he's crowded down to the ground by Winkler and John Wood and Louis Cascio and Ronnie Estee. It is going to be a gain of 2, 2nd down and 8 to go. The Irish nothing, the Tigers nothing, as we begin the ball game before a packed house at Tiger Stadium on the campus of LSU. Wide to the right halfback Larry Parker. The Irish running out of the eye this time. Brown again, this time off to the tailback. And that is Ed Julius, who's racked up by Ronnie Estee, but he gains up to the 40-yard line, packs in there a margin of 3+ yards. It's 3rd down and 5. Notre Dame at its 40-yard line, nothing. The LSU Tigers on defense, nothing. LSU in a 4-man line with the linebackers crowded up right on the line of scrimmage, amounting to a 7-4 defense. Again, out of a normal set, here's Julius running off left tackle, and he's trying for the first down. He's about a yard short. Tyler LaFosse leads the Tiger charge on the tackle at the Notre Dame 44-yard line, and that will bring up 4th down and a yard to go. On the field, number 9, the punter Brian Doherty, a 39-yard kicking average, and he will be kicking into a slight breeze. Tommy Casanova will be a single safety for LSU. It could be the Tigers have a kick rush on. The point of the down, the Fighting Irish 44-yard line. Doherty boots the ball. They do have the rush on, and Casanova calls for a fair catch at his 23. And so he boots the ball 33 yards, Doherty does. Gatewood was first down the field, and Casanova makes the reception. There's no return.
On their first offensive series, Notre Dame did run an essay twice. He stopped the play twice.
Bert Jones will start at quarterback tonight for LSU. Number 7 from Ruston has completed 48 passes out of 91 tried. Out of a triple I, the tight end will be Jay Michelson. He is set on the right. Hamilton is flanked to the right. Handoff goes to the tailback Cantrell, and he darts over right guard, flips to the outside right, and is off his feet at the 29-yard line, and Walt Patowski makes the tackle. The Tigers, interestingly, ran inside the position covered by Walt Patowski. Patowski, Kadish, Marks, and Swinson in the defensive front 4 for Notre Dame. And the 4 linebackers are Mazurka, Patton, O'Malley, and Tobin. The deep 3, Ellis, Stepaniak, and Crotty. Again, same set with Hamilton on the right against the 4-man front. 2nd down and 6. Jones back to pass. Catch the ball, shoots it up there. Hamilton opens complete at the Notre Dame 40-yard line, and he's down on the Irish 35. First down and 10 yards to go for LSU. The Tigers from their 29 go to the Notre Dame 35. It is a gain of 36 yards. Ellis makes the tackle. Hamilton had beaten Ellis on the pass route, a fly pattern down the far sideline. And the biggest play of the game is in the record books, and it's 1st and 10 LSU at the Notre Dame 35-yard line. Kegley set widely to the left. Out of a triple I, Michelson right. Gap 6 defense in the front for Notre Dame. Cantrell up the middle is stopped by Eric Patton on the way through a small gap in the defensive line. And Cantrell will net 2 yards on the play. Coming up next, 2nd down and 8 to go. The Irish got a first down and had to punt. The Tigers have a first down and now face 2nd and 8 to go at the Notre Dame 33, and there's no score here in the first quarter. A wide slot to the left. The wide side of the field is to left, and the strong side of the line is to this side. LSU going toward the north, our left. Here's a handoff to Cantrell. He's dumped behind the line by a shooting right end, Fred Swinson. And so there's a loss on the play back out to the 36, and that will bring 3rd down and 11 to go. We played almost 4 minutes of the first quarter here at LSU Stadium. Tiger Stadium it's called. Mike the Tiger is on the scene here to cheer the homestanders on, and the Fighting Irish are making their first visit to the Bayou Country, that is in Louisiana's capital city. The 3rd down, 11 play from the Notre Dame 36 could be a passing down. Jones has 2 receivers to the right, goes back in the pocket, cocks his arm, shoots one. It is complete at the 15. That's Hamilton. He's in for a touchdown, and the Tigers lead Notre Dame 6-0. Ken Sleezes was the defender on the play, and he was whipped handily. A 36-yard pass play. Hamilton gets a touchdown, and the Tigers are full of zing, leading Notre Dame 6-0 in the first quarter. A 77-yard drive, a 36-yard pass play to Hamilton set it up, and then a 36-yard touchdown play. Jones passing to Hamilton. Here is the point after try. Paul Lyons holding, and Jay Michelson kicking. The kick is good. There's a timeout on the field with the score. The LSU Tigers 7, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 0.
When it comes to choosing your gasoline, trust Texaco to have just the right gasoline for you. All their gasolines have one of the most advanced additive packages in any gasoline you can buy on the market today. They're especially designed for both better performance and for cleaner air. So when you need gasoline, no matter what kind of car you drive, trust the people at Texaco. They make great gasoline, and one is just right for you. The Tigers go 77 yards in 5 plays. The big one, of course, was a 36-yard scoring pass from Bert Jones to his cousin Andy Hamilton, who earlier in the drive hooked up on another 36-yard pass. The Tigers lead it with 10:47 left to go in the first quarter by a score of 7-0. So the Tigers strike early, throwing deep, giving Jones the time he needs to throw the football, and giving also Andy Hamilton time to work his way clear. He's done it twice. The Tigers lead it by a score of 7-0. Here's the kickoff.
Dale Miller again will be kicking, and deep for Notre Dame, Greg Hill and Gary Diminick. The kick is in the air, a spiral that is going to bounce at the 13, up in the air. Hill takes it at the 7, comes back to the 15, driving hard to the 25, the 27, and is knocked down hard by Norm Hodgins, Pepper Rutland, Gary Champagne, and Jack Kimmett. First and 10 for the Irish at their 27. It's a 7-0 game. The LSU Tigers over Notre Dame with 10:40 to go in the first quarter of play. This is the final game of the year for Notre Dame. LSU plays Tulane here next week. Strong eye set to the right. Here's a handoff going to Parker around the left side. He swings out deep, knocked down hard by Tommy Casanova after being slowed by Johnny Wood. The point of the down, the 29, maybe the 30-yard line. And Parker really took a shot from a hard-charging defensive quarterback on this particular play, Tommy Casanova. Now from the 29, it's second down and 8 to go for Notre Dame. Again, in a strong eye to the right with a split left end. Queenie is tucked in tightly on the right. Brown to the right to throw. Shoots it out here. Overthrows Parker on the near side at the Notre Dame 40. Incomplete. Third down and 8 to go. The Irish at their 29. LSU ahead of Notre Dame, 7-0 first quarter. Roaring on the field, Boyd Perry for a linebacking assignment for LSU, and out will come senior Lloyd Fry. Boyd Perry, courageous youngster from Orange, Texas, senior. Third down and 8 to go from the 29. Notre Dame, Cliff Brown back, draw play, gives to Julius. He picks up 1 yard, and Ronnie Estee hits him hard around the knees, and Julius gets only 1. It's going to be a short gain, and in 3 downs, the Irish have picked up 3 yards. It's 4th and 7 to go. Notre Dame at its 30. Casanova again going deep, along with now Jimmy Mizzou for LSU. They're backing up to the back of 35. York is standing on his 17, waiting for the snap to the center. Puts the ball and puts a nice high spiral. His best kick of the night. Mizzou backs up, retreats to the 23, makes the handoff. He retreats to the 20 and is knocked off his feet at the 19. Mizzou trying to get room from the far sideline, could not do so, and the Tigers will have the football first and 10 at their 19. 47 yards on the kick and a -5 on the return. First down LSU, the Tigers at their 19-yard line. And ahead by a score of 7-0. A 36-yard touchdown pass, Jones to Andy Hamilton. And the conversion by Michelson. LSU ahead 7-0. Jones again at quarterback, gives off to Alan Shorey, and Shorey is hit down by a defensive lineman, Greg Marks, number 75, playing from right tackle. Alan Shorey, averaging 6.5 yards per carry, is knocked to his feet at the 22, and it's now 2nd and 7. He gets 3 on the play. The Irish staying in a 4-4-3. Here is wide to the left, Gerald Kegley, and off the line and shortly tucked to the right, Andy Hamilton. Jones out of the eye, facing now an odd man front, rolls back to the left, gives off the tailback off of Cantrell, and he rips off to the middle, fumbles the ball at the 26, and there's a scramble for it at the 26-yard line. Jimmy Artley says the whistle had blown, and Cantrell will get a gain to somewhere short of the 30, the 28. Potowski and Mike Cady make the tackle for the Irish. And Potowski is a tremendously big man at 260. Mike Katie's not quite so tall, but also weighing in at 260. So Cantrell on the blast up the middle and the fumble with a quick whistle perhaps. It's going to be 3rd down and 2. LSU ahead 7-0. First quarter, the Tigers with the football and trying now for a first down. Strong eye set to the right. Notre Dame has 8 men on the line. Here's the option run by Jones. He has the first down. He's cut off his feet at the 34-yard line by Ralph Stepaniak, the defensive right halfback for Notre Dame. But the Irish were tucked in very tightly in the middle of the Tiger line. They did stop it up the middle. Had the play gone up the middle, it probably would have been stopped, but Jones elected on the option to run left, and he picked up the first down. First and 10 LSU at the Tiger 34. LSU leading Notre Dame by a score of 7-0 with 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Open side of the field to right, and Hamilton is set to that side and up on the line. A 5-man front. Here's Jones going back. Flips around. A throwback pattern coming. Hamilton running it. He's open again. Incomplete at the 40-yard line. A last-minute quick hand thrown up by Clarence Ellis. And the Tigers are making this one a wide-open affair, and Hamilton was in between the receivers in the Notre Dame defensive zone. Ellis and Crotty back deep, and Hamilton was in between them, and only a quick hand by a splashing Clarence Ellis prevented another touchdown for LSU. The Tigers lead 7-0 with 7.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Notre Dame on the defensive with a 4-man front. And the linebackers are spread very widely to accommodate the wide receivers. Hand off to Cantrell. Here he comes to the left side. May not get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose 1. Greg Mark and Rick Coleman are the men who make the tackle for Notre Dame at the LSU 33-yard line. Loss of 1 on the play. 3rd down and 11. LSU has Ledoux out of the game, and Kegley is in with Hamilton as possible receivers. Cantrell and Shorey are in the eye behind Bert Jones. Let's see what Jones elects to do with the football on 3rd down and 11. Cantrell undots the eye. Jones back to throw. Darts it up the middle. It's complete to Hamilton in midfield, and down he goes. He cut in behind the linebacker Eric Patton, and in front of the safety man Mike Crotty, makes the reception at midfield, almost in the exact center of the playing field. And Hamilton has caught 3 big passes in this game. 2 for 36 yards apiece, 1 for a score, and now this one for a total of 17 yards. 89 yards so far for Hamilton receiving the football, and he's already a record setter in that department here at LSU. First down at midfield, the Tigers, who are ahead of Notre Dame 7-0 first quarter. And Jones hands off to Shorey. Shorey shoots into the left side of the line, picks up about 2 yards. It's thrown back hard by Eric Patton and Mike Crotty. Before the next play, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the LSU Football Network.
And this is Radio 87 in New Orleans, WWL, with studios in the world-famed French Quarter.
The Tigers are at the Notre Dame 48-yard line with a 2nd down and 8 to go, and in the process of a 33-yard drive to this moment. And here is Jones going back to throw again. Receivers down the field. He's knocked down, fumbles the ball. Notre Dame has the football. It's Clinton recovering, and it is a fumble. And Notre Dame will have the football at the LSU 36. A big tackle applied to Jones by Mike Zikas, number 79. So the Irish come up with a defensive gem and have the football in good field position. After Jones' fumble, he was going back, it appeared, to put the ball in the air again, but as he took his arm back, he was smashed by Mike Zikas. Swenson makes the recovery at the LSU 36. First and 10, Notre Dame. First break of the game for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. LSU leading 7-0. Brown hands off, and that's Bill Gallagher running at fullback. And he's a marked man, picks up about a yard. Ronnie Estee leads the Tiger defensive unit on the tackle just inside the Tiger 35-yard line. It will be 2nd down and 9 to go for Notre Dame. Backfield, Larry Parker at right halfback. At quarterback, Cliff Brown. At fullback, Bill Gallagher. And Ed Julius, number 12, is at left half. Full house backfield, resembling, but not quite, a wishbone C. Reverse play, and Parker runs to the left side, outside tackle, breaks the tackle, and through Lloyd Fry, and he's inside the 30-yard line, down to the 29, and is stopped by Warren Capone and number 17, Frank Racine. The ball is placed back at the 30, and it's going to be a 3rd down and 4 to go for Notre Dame at the LSU 30-yard line. Winkler out, Hodgins in at safety for LSU. Tigers rotate on many occasions to all 4 of the deep positions, several men. Gatewood is wide to the right side. Great pass receiver, looking for his 27th of the year in this game. 3rd down, 4 play. This is Parker right through the middle for a 1st down. He's off his feet at the LSU 22-yard line. John Wood makes the stop, and Parker comes up back against the green to make a charge down the field to the Tiger 22-yard line, and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish have a good drive going. Andy Huff back in at fullback in place of Bill Gallagher. 4:15 remaining to be played in the 1st quarter here at Tiger Stadium. LSU ahead of Notre Dame, 7-0. Parker sets widely to the right. Here's Brown rolling to the left side, hands off to Huff. Huff over left tackle. Ramrods himself inside the 20, down to about the 19-yard line, and John Wood, with help from Richard Piku, number 88, who's in the game, makes the tackle. 2nd down at the 19-yard line of LSU. Notre Dame with the ball and 8 yards to go for the 1st down. Tackles John Condrick, 260 pounds on the right, and Dave Casper, 228 on the left. Condrick actually a guard. John Dampier, 240-pounder. Here's Parker shooting right through the middle. A small crease in the Tiger defense. Inside the 15 to about the 13, and LaFosse will get credit for the Tiger tackle around the shoelaces at the 13-yard line. Notre Dame using power going straight ahead, and its big weight advantage in the game beginning to show a little bit on this drive. 3rd down, a little more than a yard to go for a 1st down at the LSU 13-yard line. Notre Dame with the football. Out of the huddle, tight end Mike Streedy, number 91, is on the left. 2 wide receivers twinned up on the right side, Gatewood and Parker. Cliff Brown, the quarterback, off to Ed Huff. He's over left tackle, really valiantly trying for the 1st down, and he stopped somewhere around that territory outside the Tiger 11-yard line. At the 12, a yard short of a 1st down. It's 4th down for Notre Dame. LSU ahead 7-0. He looks to the bench, and apparently the Irish will go, but a timeout will be called by the officials for a measurement. The chain is extended, and Notre Dame is still almost a yard short of a 1st down, needing to go to the 11. The ball is at the 12. Tom Gatewood requested that particular chain extension. LSU ahead of Notre Dame 7-0 with 2:44 to go in the 1st quarter here at Tiger Stadium. And the Irish have the ball on a crucial situation. 4th down, a yard to go at the LSU 12-yard line. The crowd here, highly partisan LSU, says hold the line. And a lot of Notre Dame fans are urging the Irish on. They set up in a strong wishbone with Gatewood to the right. Here's a smash to the right side. 1st down for Notre Dame as Andy Huff carries on a quick dive play down to about the 10. Just outside the 10-yard line, and many of the Tiger forward wall men, including linebacker Lloyd Fry, make the stop. But it was simply a dive or wham play straight ahead by fullback Andy Huff, and Notre Dame has new life and 4 downs to make 10 yards and a score. LSU ahead 7-0. 2 receivers left and right. Here's Brown off to Julius, and he charges into left guard offensively inside the 10 down to about the 7-yard line, and Norm Hodgins fills him at the 7. Notre Dame using nothing fancy on this drive and going behind number 8 sophomore quarterback from Pennsylvania, Cliff Brown. Brown weighs 185 in passing, 43 completions out of 90 tries for 518 yards, but he's playing it close to the vest down deep. 2nd down, goal to go from the 7. Here's Huff over right tackle this time on about a half count inside the 5, and he's down to the ground at the Tiger 4-yard line. And the Irish are relentlessly moving straight ahead, and the tackle here is credited to Frank Racine and Tyler LaFosse. Frank Pomerico and Dave Casper blocking well in the left side of the line for Notre Dame, and Condrick and Dampier doing a fine job blocking on the right for the Irish. Third down from the Tiger 3. Notre Dame with a great challenge here. Brown off to Gulius. Gulius the right tackle. He's way down right at the goal line, but not across. Ronnie Estee and John Wood and others on the tackle for LSU, and the ball is just inches away from the Tiger goal line. Remember, the series started just outside the LSU 10, so we'll have a measurement to see if Notre Dame has a first down. The chain extension, any part of the ball hitting the chain would mean a first down for the Irish. The chain extension, and Notre Dame has just an inch or so to go for a first down, with fourth down coming up, and just about 3 or 4 inches to go for a touchdown. So the Irish will call for timeout. Gatewood steps up, and Notre Dame has called timeout with the ball just a few inches away from a touchdown at the south end, and also about an inch away from a first down for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So timeout on the field here at Tiger Stadium with the score. The LSU Tigers 7, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish nothing.
You ever notice how your car seems to catch a cold in the winter or act like it's about to have a heat stroke in the summer? Texaco's Haviland Super Premium all-temperature motor oil can cure a lot of your car's temperature problems. If you want to lubricate and protect your car's engine to keep it from catching a cold or having a heat stroke, trust Texaco's Haviland Super Premium all-temperature motor oil. Down below, here's the Tiger Band. Notre Dame has the football, 4th and inches. The ball no more than 6 inches away from the goal line. They can conceivably make a first down. But they are going to go for it, of course. They've got the power to do it, and they've worked their way now from the LSU 36. They've already used up 10 plays doing it, running right straight ahead. Nothing fancy, just straight, tough football, utilizing, of course, their great leverage in the height and weight factors. Here we go.
Cliff Brown has the Irish up to the line of scrimmage. Wedge formation with Huff, the fullback, and Gulius behind Brown. He doesn't make it. Andy Huff is up the goal line, but doesn't make it. He's thrown back a half yard. The Tigers have prevented Notre Dame from making a first down or a touchdown, as Huff is really whacked up at the 1-yard line. The entire LSU quick defensive line made a beautiful charge, and a great deal of the start of the Notre Dame effort is eliminated by the quick defensive maneuver of the LSU Tiger line. And so LSU is backed up from its 1 with a great goal line stand. First down and 10 yards to go for LSU. Bert Jones, that quarterback for LSU. Tight eye to the left. He hands off, and Cantrell hurdles a tackler behind the goal line, gets out to the line of scrimmage as he wiggles out to the 1-yard line. Rick Coleman and Ken Sleezers on the tackle for Notre Dame. No gain. 2nd and 10. Tigers in the deep hole after stopping the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at the LSU goal line. 20 seconds to go in the first quarter here at Tiger Stadium. LSU holding a 7-0 lead. After a fumble at the 36 in LSU territory, the Irish failed to count. Here's Cantrell busting up to the 4-yard line straight ahead. It's going to be 3rd down. Eric Patton and Mike Crotty tackle for Notre Dame. The Irish very big, rangy defensively. The horn sounds. That's the end of the first quarter here at Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge, with the score of the LSU Tigers 7, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish nothing.
We've got something to cheer you up at the new truck stop here in Ontario.
A truly great goal line stand. The Tigers have the football on their own 4-yard line. It's 3rd and 7. Actually, on the play, the fourth down play, Notre Dame lost a foot. The nose of the ball was just inches from the goal line. They had a chance to make a first down, but of course they were unable to do so. The Tigers have taken over, run 2 plays now, trying to get a little room. If they could pop somebody through for 7 yards down the hole, otherwise they will have to punt it. But the defense did a magnificent job, true to one of the great goal line stands, because Notre Dame is by far a heavier football team. But the Tigers utilized their quickness and their emotions, stopped the Irish at the goal line, took the football over, they moved it out to the 4, and now have a 3rd down and 7 situation.
In total offense in the first quarter, LSU had 94 yards, Notre Dame 61. LSU had 89 yards in the air, Notre Dame none. The Irish 61 yards on the ground on 17 plays in the first quarter, and LSU got 8 yards on 11 rushing plays. 3 first downs apiece. It's LSU 7, Notre Dame nothing. Estee will be kicking. He's standing just inside the end line. The point of the down, the 4-yard line. Mike Crotty, a single receiver, expecting a short kick. It's about a 36-yard average that Estee is posting right now. Kicks a low line drive. Crotty receives at the LSU 42, and he comes rolling back down the field to the Tiger 37, and is bumped literally off his feet there by Lloyd Killen of Bossier City. 38 yards on Estee's kick, a low liner. First down for Notre Dame at the Tiger 37. Logan Killen, 51, on his jersey, is from Bossier City, and he is the man who snaps back the ball on kicks. Cliff Brown back in, going back for his first pass attempt, shoots it up the field. It is to Gatewood, complete inside the LSU 25-yard line, and he's racked down by Joe Winkler as he rolls out of bounds at the Tiger 19 on the far side of the playing field. And so quickly, Notre Dame goes to the air and brings up a reception from the 37. 18 yards on the completion to Gatewood, and now Gatewood has caught his 27th, and now has over 260 yards, 360 yards in the air. Handoff goes to Parker, and he rams straight ahead for about a yard. Second down and 9. Again, Ronnie Estee gets credit for the tackle, and he is a man who has been all over this defensive activity for LSU in the game so far. Notre Dame at the Tiger 18-yard line with second down and 9 to go. The Tigers ahead 7-0. Brown rolling off to the left side, sees an open field, runs to the 15. He's down to the 11 and is racked up at about the 10 or 11-yard line by Capone. And a man who is yet to get up, Lloyd Fry. The ball is going to be placed at the Tiger 10-yard line, 1 yard short of a first down, as Brown wanted to throw but couldn't get the pass away and elected to run. Brown is 1 out of 2 in the air. Boyd Perry is in at linebacker for LSU. Parker set widely to the right, covered by Nagel. Gatewood on the left, covered by Casanova. Handoff goes to number 12, Ed Julius, and he smashes into the right side of the line. Doesn't make the first down. It's thrown back by Lloyd Fry and Norm Hodgins at the 10-yard line. And so again, Notre Dame faces fourth down and a yard to go, and the Tiger defensive team is making it tough on straight-ahead runs by Notre Dame when the yardage gets to be very important down deep. LSU has been backed up a couple of times in the game, but still holds the lead 7-0. Fourth and a yard, and time is called by Jim Hartley, the referee. It appears that Hartley wants to talk to the team and get the team to ask the crowd to be quiet a little bit so that Notre Dame's team can hear its signal. Notre Dame, interestingly, did not ask for a timeout on the play. Fourth down and 1 yard to go at the LSU 10. Notre Dame, after recovering an LSU fumble at the Tiger 36 earlier, has been in control of the ball game, but was stopped at the goal line and now has a crucial situation again. 4th and 1 at the LSU 10. Brown back to the right side, will keep the ball. has the teeth on the way, and he's thrown back for a loss by Norm Hodgins at the LSU 14-yard line on a keeper play to the right side. Brown had the blockers in front of him, but just wasn't quite quick enough to get away from Norm Hodgins, who shot the gap among the interferers and makes the tackle. The ball is put at the LSU 13. There's a loss of 3. Paul Lyons is in at quarterback for LSU, and a second unit offensive team all the way through. First and 10 LSU, and the Tigers have been very stingy down deep, and there's a timeout on the field. Timeout on the field here at Tiger Stadium with the score, LSU 7, Notre Dame nothing.
Say, fans, when it comes to supplying you with just the right gasoline, no one does the job better than Texaco. Texaco makes great gasoline, all with one of the most advanced additive packages in any gasoline you can buy. It's specially designed for both better performance and for cleaner air, and one is just right for the car you drive. Remember now, big car, small car, old or new car, you can trust Texaco to have just the right gasoline for you. John, I have to say, I don't think I have ever seen the Tigers as emotionally high as they obviously are tonight. The defense has just been magnificent. Poor field position, the last 2 possessions, of course, has put a lot of pressure on the defense, but Lyons has the football now at the 13-yard line, a little bit better than what the last possession was at the 1.
New members of the team on the field. Keckley stays in at split end for LSU. At left tackle, Steve Street. At left guard, Jimmy Elkins. At center, Logan Killen. Right guard, Russell Held. Randy Russell at right tackle. And the right end is a man we'll pick up in just a minute. Here's a handoff to the tailback. And Chris Danton hurdles up over the left side of the line for about 2 yards. Jimmy Ledoux is in at split back. Ken Cavanaugh is the tight end. Benglis is the fullback. Danton, who just got a call, is at tailback, and the quarterback for LSU is Paul Lyons. First unit defensive team still on the field for Notre Dame. They put the ball at the 16. It's going to be second down and 7 for LSU. Tigers in their own territory and holding a 7-0 lead. Danton out of the eye, gets a handoff, and makes an attempt around the left side, but Swinton is there, and there's no gain. Steve Street tried to block Swinton, but it was to no avail at all. Back to the 14 is where he's thrown. It's third down and 9. The LSU Tigers back at their 14-yard line and spending a major part of this quarter with 11:35 to go in it, and a part of the first quarter in their own territory after fumbling at their own 36. Here's Lyons behind Killen, takes the ball, rolls out to the right, gives off to Danton. Danton back against the grain, breaks out to the 25, and he's filled at the LSU 28-yard line by safety man Mike Crotty. First down LSU. The play was designed to go wide to the right. Danton saw the gap open up on the left as the Irish were charging to the outside to stop the play. And so Danton saw the daylight enough to move ahead to the 28-yard line and pick up an LSU first down and give the Tigers some breathing room. Again, the Irish set up a 4-4-3 defense and rotate into a 4-deep secondary with 2 linebackers and the others up on the line of scrimmage. Again, Lyons runs the option left, gives off to Benglis, who has a good running average, and he picks up about 2 or 3 yards on the play. Kadish and Marks and Patton stop him for Notre Dame at the 32. Second down and 6 to go. Benglis averaging 8 yards a carry. He's had a couple of real fine games. Not blessed with blistering speed, but has great maneuverability and agility to get through small gaps in the defensive line. Second down and 6. LSU at 32. Again, Lyons at quarterback, hands off to Danton. And he rips it up over the left side of the line out to about the 35. And is knocked down there by Mike Kadish, a candidate for All-America out of Notre Dame. Third down, a little more than 2 to go for LSU on the hash mark on the far side. Here in the second quarter, LSU is facing a small breeze that's blowing into the stadium from the southwest. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Ledoux set widely to the right. He is from Sulphur. And Gerald Kegley from the state of Mississippi is to the left. Here's Lyons back to throw, being chased, won't get it away. Down he goes at his 26. And Swinson is the man who's charging back there to make the tackle. And Lyons could not get the pass delivered to Kegley, apparently, as he was looking back to him. And all of a sudden, from his back, comes Fred Swinson to make the big tackle for Notre Dame. 4th down, 11 from the 26.5 or 7. Ronnie Estee is in to punt. And Mike Crotty is a single safety, 10 yards deep in Notre Dame territory. Again, a low line drive spiral. Crotty backs up to take it at his 29. Ledoux overruns him, but throws him up enough for Crotty to be tackled at his 33. Chris Danton, who's injured on the play, and Ken Cavanaugh and Russell Held are down quickly under a 45-yard kick, and the return is good for about 4 yards. A timeout is called here on the exchange of the football as Notre Dame will take over 1st and 10 at the Irish 33. The timeout on the field, the score is LSU 7, Notre Dame nothing.
Remember, fans, no matter what time of the year it is, it's the right time to give your car's cooling system the guaranteed protection of Texaco antifreeze coolant. In summer, it protects against boil away. In winter, against freeze up. And all year round, it protects against corrosion, rust, and clogging. So don't put off putting in Texaco antifreeze coolant. Fully guaranteed if used according to your car manufacturer's instructions. You'll find it at your local Texaco retailer. 9 minutes and 8 seconds left to go in the first half. LSU in front of Notre Dame by a score of 7-0. Coming on a 36-yard pass from Burt Jones to Andy Hamilton. The drive was 77 yards. The Tigers took it in 5 plays. 2 big plays, of course. In addition to the 36-yard scoring play was a 36-yard pass from Hamilton to Jones to Hamilton also. Notre Dame has the football 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line. 67,500 people or more have jammed their way into this huge stadium here in Baton Rouge tonight for this great contest.
Gatewood out of the Irish huddle wide to the right. LSU in a 7-man line against the wishbone T. Cliff Brown at quarterback for Notre Dame goes back, draw play, gives to Julius. Wood has him at the line of scrimmage, no gain. LSU has had some great experience against defending the wishbone T. And it has not been, the wishbone has not been, a particularly productive offensive formation against the LSU defensive units. 2nd down, 10. Notre Dame at its 33-yard line and setting up a double slot to the right. Lone remaining back is Andy Huff, fullback. Cliff Brown at quarterback. Stan Saul goes back, fades off to his right, running, passing, completes to Parker at the 41-yard line. And covering on the play, the Tigers, Tommy Casanova and Frank Racine. And Parker was going down to the turf as he made the reception at the 41. 3rd and 2. Interesting comparison here in scoring. Notre Dame has not allowed any points in the 3rd and 4th quarters this year against 9 opponents. LSU scoring has been at its greatest in the 3rd quarter, all totaled up in all of its 9 games, and almost as productive in the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 2. Huff off to the right, slowed down back behind the line of scrimmage, but breaks away and finally gets past Pepper Rutland, who eventually makes the tackle somewhere around the 43-yard line. Andy Huff carrying. A tackle application, not quite a first down, made by Skip Comier, number 95, defensive end for LSU, and it's 4th down and just inches to go, and the Irish want another measurement. Kane is brought on the field a short distance and is now being extended, and not quite a first down. Again, Notre Dame faces a critical decision, though it should not be a great one at this point of the football field. And at this point of the game, LSU holds a 7-0 lead with 7.5 minutes to go in the first half. And the Irish have 4th down and just a couple of inches to go for a first down at their own 43. And apparently, the Irish will kick. That will be the percentage that will be called for in the game. Irish trying to protect an 8-1 season, but trailing LSU 7-0. Last week, Tulane Greenies next up on the LSU schedule next week, and a lot of the properties of this game are similar to those of the Tulane Notre Dame game. High snap to Doherty, the punter, and he boots it. Ledoux backing up on the ball, may not field it. The ball bounces at the 2. The 1 is going to roll dead at the 2-yard line. Gatewood and also a guard down deep under there to step on the ball after a 55-yard effort by Brian Doherty. And so the Tigers will have the ball at their 2, first down and 10 yards to go. It was in the game last year at South Bend that the Irish used the kicking game to keep LSU bottled up most of the late stages of the game. And eventually the kicking game was the difference. Tigers with Jones, Shorey, and Keckley and Cantrell in the backfield. Joe Bear at center. Handoff goes to Cantrell. He's whacked up by John Mazurka at about the 6-yard line on an attempt straight ahead. 7 minutes remaining in the first half. The ball is at the LSU 7-yard line, and it is going to be second down and about 5.5 to 6 yards to go for a first down. Tiger line up and facing a 5-man front set up by Notre Dame. Everybody on their marks, and here's a handoff to Cantrell, and he's crowded down by Mazurka and company at the line of scrimmage. An attempt at left tackle. They are going to say his forward advance has carried him up to the 8-yard line. Eric Patton in for a part of the tackle, and the Tigers are still trying to go inside defensive left end for Notre Dame, and that would be the area covered by Walt Pekowski. It is said by many people that Pekowski will be a very important man on all-star teams this year and also on selections postseason. 2 wide receivers left. Third down and about 4. Jones off to Cantrell. Cadiz has him in line at about the 11-yard line as Cantrell was trying to get to the outside left. And so the Tigers will have Ronnie Estee and Logan Killing coming in. Joe Bear and Jones come out. It will be a punting situation. LSU just outside at the 10.
Tigers have not had good field position since their first possession, which they took from their own 23 on in for a score. They've been backed up ever since.
Notre Dame staying right with its game plan, and with one deep receiver, Crotty, they have a rush on the kicker on, and a fair catch signal called by Crotty. He fumbles the ball, scramble for it. Notre Dame flees it, has it at the Tiger 45-yard line. Crotty made a fair catch signal and had to run up on the ball, which came up short to the LSU 40. Crotty fumbled the ball, and finally it was the duty of Ken Fleeses to make the recovery at, now they say officially, the LSU 46-yard line. Logan Killen was the man making a good charge on the ball, trying for a possession for LSU. And again, timeout is called in the game. With the place of the football, the Tiger 46, Notre Dame in possession. And as we've commented, Notre Dame has been in LSU territory ever since Jones fumbled the ball, going back for a pass at his 36. And the Irish moved the ball down to the goal line, did not score, and later gave up the ball at the 10-yard line. Timeout in the field here at LSU with the score. The Tigers 7, the Fighting Irish nothing.
When it comes to choosing your gasoline, trust Texaco to have just the right gasoline for you. All their gasolines have one of the most advanced additive packages in any gasoline you can buy on the market today. They're especially designed for both better performance and for cleaner air. So when you need gasoline, no matter what kind of car you drive, trust the people at Texaco. They make great gasoline, and one is just right for you. 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the first half. LSU in front of Notre Dame by a score of 7-0.
Willie Townsend, number 80, is in at split end for Notre Dame, and he's wide to the right out of the wishbone. Here's a reverse play with Townsend coming wide to the left. He's going to get some yardage. He's at the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25. He's at the LSU 15. He's out of bounds at the Tiger 12-yard line. Rushed out of bounds by Joe Winkler and Tommy Casanova. And a Tiger is injured on the plate. Johnny Wood has a turned ankle and hobbles off the field on the near side. Out of the wishbone with a flanker to the right. A split end to the right. Actually, Townsend just into the game to the wide side of the field. Gulius took the handoff from the quarterback, rolled out to the right, and handed on the reverse back to Townsend, off to the near side, and he bullets down to the Tiger 12. And again, the Irish are threatening. Brown, quarterback, rolling out to the right, will run a pass. He'll run, makes the turn inside the 10. He's at the 7. Down he goes at the LSU 7-yard line, and Vince Machota makes the tackle. Before the next play, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the LSU Football Network.
And this is WWL in New Orleans, Radio 87, with studios in the world-famed French Quarter.
Again, the Irish are knocking on the door. Second down in about 6. The ball at the LSU 7. And Notre Dame is taking one of its timeouts. On the ground, Notre Dame has picked up 108 yards so far. In the air, completed 2 or 3 passes for 26 yards. On the ground, LSU has gained only 29. While through the air, they've completed 3 or 4 passes for a total of 89 yards. Sandy Hamilton catching all 3 of them. But the Tigers have been backed up throughout the entire second quarter, better part of the first quarter. They did score in their first possession. That's where we stand now. The defense has been just tremendous, although they did get kind of stung on that last play, a 34-yard gain on the reverse. 4:33 left to go in the first half. LSU on defense, back to the wall. Again, they've got to play super defense to thwart the Irish. Previous possessions, Notre Dame has gotten down to the LSU 1, the LSU 13, the 43, and now the 7.
Jim Gainey is coming in for LSU, a defensive end. He's been injured a couple of games, an outstanding sophomore from Hammond. And Jack Kimmett is remaining in the game, a defensive right end. He's a junior from Baton Rouge, weighs 195, and he's in place of the number 1 unit, John Wood, who has injured an ankle or a knee and is being attended to on the near side. Second down and 5 at the LSU 7. Notre Dame again threatening with a double slot to the left. Handoff to Andy Huff. And he bullets to the left side and left guard down to the 5. And Tyler LaFosse with company meets him there. Gain of 2. Skip Comier also in on the tackle. It's third down and 3 at the LSU 5. And again, the going gets a little sticky down deep. Notre Dame has controlled all departments of this football game since the recovery of a fumble at the Tiger 36 back in the middle of the first quarter after the LSU score. The Tigers lead 7-0. Zagged in for a scene at one of the safety spots for LSU. Third down at the Tiger 5. 3 to go for a first down. Here's Huff trying at left tackle. He's into about the 3, maybe the 2.5. Louis Castillo stops him at the 3. So now it is 4th down and a yard to go again, deep in LSU territory. One time the Irish had 4th and a couple of inches, and Notre Dame again will call for timeout. Brown wants to consult Coach Parsegian. One time in the game, the Tigers held inches away from their goal line. Again, with a 4th down and 1 at the LSU 10. Hodgins spills Brown for a 3-yard loss. And now again, the Irish have 4th down and 1 to go at the LSU 3 this time. Here comes Johnny Wood back in the game for LSU. And so Cliff Brown, sophomore quarterback, is having a discussion on the far side of the field with the Irish coaching staff, while Louis Castillo is talking things over with the Tiger staff on the near side. So the strategy is being developed now, and Notre Dame has an important decision to make here, trailing 0-7 with 3:36 to go in the first half, about whether to go for the 1 yard, the touchdown, or for 3 points. And here comes Cliff Brown back in the game.
You can't help but speculate if Notre Dame doesn't make it, how many people may be second-guessing Parsegian for not taking the 3 points. He's supposed to have a real good field goal kicker.
So 4th down and 1 yard to go. Apparently the Irish will be trying for the first down or the touchdown. Gallagher's in at fullback. Or wingback, and Huff is in at fullback, and Julius at tailback. They're setting up a strong eye to the right. And Jimmy Artley is charging LSU with a timeout. And Louis Cascio and Cliff Brown go to the respective coaching staffs again to talk things over. LSU leading 7-0. And the maneuvering is now getting very intensive, offensively and defensively. Notre Dame with the 4th down and 1 at the LSU 3. The Tigers have stopped the Irish deep in their own territory, extremely deep, on similar situations on 4th down plays. Larry Parker will come in at wingback for Notre Dame. Bill Gallagher, normally a fullback, goes out. And so Julius, Huff, and Parker will be behind Cliff Brown, the quarterback for Notre Dame. LSU has its number 1 defensive unit on the field. And let's see what the Tigers can do defensively as the Irish come up with their offensive set. A very tight, strong eye to the right. Brown, the quarterback, 4th down and 1 to go. Rolls off to the right, looking for a receiver. Shoots it in the end zone. Incomplete. LSU again holds the pass intended for Parker and broken up by linebacker Lloyd Fry. So for the 3rd time in the first half, the Tigers throw back the Irish on 4th down. And it's LSU football, 1st and 10 at the Tiger 3.
Well, again, credit the Tiger defense for just magnificent play. You can't expect any better than that. Notre Dame has had excellent field position throughout the course of the evening, and twice now, deep inside the 5, the Tigers have stopped them.
LSU will try to be straightforward in this situation with Jones at quarterback. He hands off to Cantrell. Cantrell roars out over left tackle for about 5 yards and is stopped hard at about the 8-yard line. Rick Tolman, number 38, is the man who makes the tackle, along with Mike Zekas, 79. 2nd down and 5 to go. The Tigers at their 8, ahead of Notre Dame, 7-0. This game is developing into another one of those real football epics. Here's Andy Hamilton to the right. Handoff goes to Shorey. Shorey is racked up at the 10-yard line. Flow of the play went wide to the right, and Shorey went over the right side of the line. Eric Patton and Zekas collaborate on the tackle, shoulder to shoulder at the 10. 3rd down and 3. LSU at its 10-yard line, ahead of Notre Dame by a score of 7-0. This is the last game of the year for Notre Dame. LSU has tough Tulane remaining next week. Bert Jones behind Jack Gilbert. Hamilton set to the right. Backfield strong left. Here's Jones hipping the ball, rolling out to the left side. He's crawling out to about the 12, and that's as far as he can go. Tough to block big men like Fred Swenson and Greg Marks, weighing 235 apiece, and Crotty comes up for a part of the tackle, and they're placing the ball between the 11, well, about the 11-yard line. It's 4th down and 2. Ronnie Estee will be in the punt for LSU. Kicking average into the game a little short of 36 yards. And again, Notre Dame sets up a single safety, Mike Crotty, and the Irish, if things go well for them here, will have great field position again. Here's a kick going to Crotty. Fair catch at the Tiger 46. And so from that point, for the 2nd time, on as many punt receptions, the Irish set up shop at the Tiger 46. 33 yards for Estee on the kick, and we may have an infraction. Walt Patowski is being called from the sideline to make the decision. The man with the white cap, Jimmy Artley, Notre Dame going to the air so far unsuccessfully from the LSU 46-yard line. John Staggs coming in with some defensive suggestions for the Tiger team, and Frank Racine of Freeport comes out. 1:32 to go in the first half. LSU 7, Notre Dame nothing. Brown has a strong set to the right. Gatewood sets up on the left. He and Queenie are reversing position. And they're a little confused out there. Third down and 10. Here's Brown going back in the pocket. Deep pocket to throw. Shoots it up the middle. Intercepted by Capone at the Tiger 43. He's in Notre Dame territory to the 40. Still going down to the 32-yard line and is whacked up there by John Condrick at the Notre Dame 32. Capone, a fullback in high school at Baton Rouge Catholic High, intercepts Brown's pass at his own 43 and charges like a big bull down the field to the Notre Dame 32. 25 yards on the interception return down to the Irish 32, and so let's see if the Tigers can turn it around. Leading Notre Dame 7-0. Jones in a passing condition on the field, takes the ball, goes back to throw. Pats the ball, halftime, shoots it, complete to Hamilton at the 15. He's at the 10. Hamilton scores at 13-0. Down the field, and the cross broke inside. The safety man, Mike Crotty, almost went to the ground at the 15-yard line, put one hand on the turf, and then scooted on in the end zone for the Tigers' second touchdown on a pass, and Hamilton has them both. Jones scoring both of them, and he's having perhaps his greatest night of the year. Jay Michelson will try the conversion. Here's the kick. It's good. Time out of the field to score. LSU 14, Notre Dame nothing.
Ever notice how your car seems to catch a cold in the winter or act like it's about to have a heat stroke in the summer? Texaco's Hamilton Super Premium All-Temperature Motor Oil can cure a lot of your car's temperature problems. If you want to lubricate and protect your car's engine to keep it from catching cold or having a heat stroke, trust Texaco's Hamilton Super Premium All-Temperature Motor Oil. 1 minute and 14 seconds left to go in the half. Jones has just hit Hamilton with a 32-yard scoring play. The Tigers, after the successful conversion by Michelson, go out in front 14-0 over Notre Dame.
Hill and Dominic are down deep. However, the ball goes short on a squib kick to number 19, and that's Gallagher, who receives the ball inside his 25 and runs hard out to about the Notre Dame 40 before being stopped there by Joe Winkler. The Irish, again, good field position at their 40. 1 minute 9 seconds to go in the first half, and LSU is surprising people on pass plays, surprising particularly the Irish football team, as Jones to Hamilton has worked well for 2 touchdowns so far in the game. LSU really charged up, particularly after stopping Notre Dame's offensive team 4 times on 4th down, deep inside LSU territory. First down, the Irish. Brown rolling back, draw play, gives to Gulius. Here he comes for 5 yards. Roughly over left guard. They're spilled by Perry and Cascio at the 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5 on the hash mark from the near side. 56 seconds to go in the first half. Pepper Rutland in place of Richard Piku. Rutland from Baton Rouge. Piku, Gonzalez. 2nd down, 5. Brown again with 3 wide receivers to the right. Good interference, shoots a pass, completes to Gatewood at the LSU 41. Down he goes with Noam Hodgins on his back. And riding Gatewood down to the turf. It's a Notre Dame first down and 10 yards to go. 15-yard pass completion. Brown to Gatewood. Parker and Gatewood again a wide to the right. Notre Dame wasting no time. Have a double wing up there. Here's Brown shooting a pass out of bounds to stop the clock. And a spectator has clipped on the head with the football as he turned his back on it on the far side. 25 seconds to go in the first half. LSU leads Notre Dame 14-0. LSU on its way to the Sun Bowl against perhaps Iowa State on December 18th. And Notre Dame on the field here with an 8-1 record, voted prior to coming here not to accept any bowl bids this year. Second down and 10. Julius, top of the eye, strong set to the right. Here's Brown back in the pocket, shoots a pass down the field, out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Townsend, a possible receiver, had run down the field way down deep behind Norm Hodgins and Tommy Casanova. Casanova and the field judge had a collision down the far sideline, or the line judge perhaps. Willie Townsend was the deep receiver, but Cliff Brown, Notre Dame quarterback, did not have sufficient time to deliver the ball to him. Third down and 10. Notre Dame at the LSU 40. 19 seconds to go in the first half. Brown again back to throw. Good protection this time. Now it evaporates on him. He's thrown down for a loss at the LSU 49-yard line. Jim Gainey, with help from Tyler LaFosse, crowd him down, and time is running out in the first half, and listen to this crowd. The Irish have had the chances, the Tigers have had the passes, and the sparkling defensive play. And that briefly is the story of this first half at Tiger Stadium tonight. Walter describes the halftime for you in just a moment. That's the end of the first half with the score, the LSU Tigers 14, Notre Dame nothing.
We're at halftime here at Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with LSU in front of Notre Dame by a score of 14-0. We've seen some tremendous defense on the part of the Tigers tonight, and the passing of Bert Jones has been exemplary. He did make one mistake, a fumble on the 36-yard line that kept the Tigers back deep in their own territory throughout the better part of the half. But once they got good field position, after Warren Capone's interception at the Notre Dame 32, the Tigers took only one play to get it in, and that was a 32-yard pass to Hamilton. Hamilton has both touchdowns tonight, the 36-yard pass from Jones in the first quarter, the 32-yarder from his cousin in the second quarter. Jay Michelson has been successful on both extra point attempts. So, at halftime, it's LSU 14, Notre Dame nothing. And a very fine halftime performance by the Tiger bench. We'll have more halftime comments in a minute, but right now a word from all our stations. What with all the different cars and engines to choose from, you might have wondered what gasoline is the right gasoline for you. Well, from now on, you don't have to wonder anymore, because you'll be glad to know that whether you drive a mini, a compact, a medium-sized car, a panel truck, a sports car, or even a $15,000 limousine, you can trust Texaco to have great gasolines exactly right for you. You see, Texaco gasolines have one of the most advanced additive packages in any gasoline you can buy. And just as important, Texaco gasolines are especially designed for better performance and, of course, for cleaner air. So you see, it really doesn't matter what it is, from a mini all the way up to a limousine. You can trust Texaco to have exactly the right gasoline for you. And now the LSU alma mater. Unscheduled presentation of the LSU alma mater. Right now, let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the LSU Football Network.
And this is Radio 87 in New Orleans, WWL, with studios in the world-famed French Quarter.
This is Walter Hill with John Ferguson from Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. LSU leads Notre Dame 14-0 after a truly great halftime performance by the Tiger Band. Here are the halftime statistics as far as first downs are concerned. Notre Dame has picked up 6, 5 for LSU. On the ground, the Irish have rushed 29 times for 108 yards. LSU has rushed 23 times for 38 yards. In the air, Notre Dame has completed 3 of 9 for a total of 40 yards with 1 interception. LSU has completed 4 of 5 for a total of 121 yards. So as far as total offense is concerned, LSU has 159 yards to 148 for Notre Dame. As far as individuals are concerned, Art Cantrell has carried the football 11 times for 28 yards. Chris Stanton 4 times for 18 yards. Townsend of Notre Dame has carried once for 34 yards. That was on a very well-executed reverse-type play. Andy Huff has carried 10 times for 30 yards. Park has carried 5 times for 21 yards. And Ed Gulius has carried it 8 times for a total of 19 yards. In passing, Jones is 4 for 5. Lyons has not completed a pass. Hamilton has caught all 4 of the completions for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gatewood has caught 2 for a total of 32 yards. Parker 1 for 8 yards. So the Tigers lead the scoreboard and lead close as far as statistics are concerned. Game just about down as how it was figured prior to the kickoff tonight. But Notre Dame is very difficult to run the football against. Of course, the Tigers, as far as field position are concerned, they've had very poor field position because they've been backed up inside their own end of the playing field for the better part of the evening. But of course, the great, tremendous defense has kept Notre Dame from putting points on the board, as they've gotten deep into LSU territory on numerous occasions, but the defense has stymied them. Notre Dame captains are coming back out onto the playing field. Number 44, Gatewood. Number 85 is Patulski, and here come the Tigers. Right now, we'll tell you this is the LSU Football Network. Get set for the second half kickoff. Notre Dame won the toss at the beginning of the football game, so the option for the second half rests with LSU, and they want the football. So Notre Dame will kick it off, defend the south goal. LSU will receive and defend the north goal to start play in the third quarter. LSU in front of Notre Dame by a score of 14-0 before a packed house here at Tiger Stadium, and truly a fine football game in progress. Number 32, Chris Stanton, about a yard inside the north end zone. Here's the kickoff, and here's John Ferguson.
Scott Smith will be kicking off for Notre Dame, and Chris Stanton is 2 yards deep in the Tiger end zone waiting for the kick. Here it is going straight down the field. Stanton comes up and picks it out of the air at the 4. Charges out to the 15, to 20, to 30, to 40. He's off his feet at the 42-yard line. Chris Stanton almost breaks it again. He's spilled by Clarence Ellis. Runs it back, they say, to the 41 from the 4. 37 yards. That's first down and 10 to go for LSU. Other games at the half, South Carolina leads Wake Forest 17-7. Florida State at the half leads Tulsa 14-10. At the end of the first quarter, Houston and Miami are 0-0. And here, as we have a pause in play, here on this field, here's the lineup of some of the bowls. Alabama and Nebraska is set for the Orange Bowl officially. Of course, Stanford and Michigan will be in the Rose. Auburn and Oklahoma in the Sugar. Penn State and Texas in the Cotton Bowl. First down and 10 to go for LSU at the Tiger 41. To the right, Kegley and Hamilton set very widely. Quarterback is Jones. He hands off to Shorey, and he battles his way up for about 3 yards. Astro Bluebonnet Bowl at Houston. New Year's Eve, Colorado and Houston. Gator Bowl, North Carolina and Georgia. The Peach Bowl is all set with Georgia Tech and Ole Miss. Toledo and Richmond are set for the Tangerine Bowl, it seems. The Sun Bowl, LSU and Iowa State. Liberty, Arkansas and Tennessee. And the Fiesta Bowl has Arizona State as a fixture. Other team not named. Second down from the 44. 7 to go for LSU on the Tiger 44 it is. Jones takes the ball, goes back to rifle a pass. Has time. Now it goes on him, and he runs. He's to the 50-yard line. Breaks a tackle or two. Comes to the near side to the 45 and steps out of bounds at the Notre Dame 44-yard line. Well, finally chased out by Ralph Stepaniak, but Bert Jones, who's not all that fleet of foot, runs for the first down as the Irish defense caught itself covering well deep and crashing down on the LSU passing pocket, and Jones just eluded all of the defenders. He picks up a first down at the Notre Dame 44-yard line. 14-0, LSU ahead and looking good. Kegley to the left. Hamilton to the right along the sideline. Jones off to the tailback, and that's Cantrell bumping ahead to the 41. He has a gain of 3, and Walt Patowski crashes in on him and pulls him down easily. Help from Mike Kadish and Jim Mazurka. Second down at the 41. 7 yards to go from the Irish 41-yard line. And we'll see what the Irish do with the Tigers here in this third quarter, since Coach Parsigrian of Notre Dame is the possessor of a great reputation with the words in the dressing room at halftime. LSU with 2 wide receivers to the left. A little wrinkle in the offensive formation. Hand off to Cantrell, and he's crashed down by Patton and then by Mike Zikas. Defensive left tackle inside the 40. They say it's the 38. There's a gain of 3 on the play. So 3 plus 3, it's third down and 4 at the 38. In Irish territory, LSU with the ball in the middle of the field and striking toward the south, our right. Next week, the Tigers' 7:30 game will be against Tulane to bring the curtain down on this exciting campaign. LSU trying to improve on a 6-3 record. Notre Dame on this field with an 8-1 and behind by 14 points. Jones backs the pass. Shoots a swing pass to Cantrell at the 36. He fights his way to the 35. Jim Mazurka brings him down at the 35-yard line, short of a first down. And so now the Tigers, for the first time in the game, are faced with a 4th down and 1 in enemy territory from the Notre Dame 35. The decision is being made on the near sideline, and let's see what will happen. They're going for it. 3 minutes deep into the third quarter. LSU ahead of Notre Dame, 14-0. Hamilton to the wide side right. Strong eye left. Here is Jones handing off to Cantrell. First down on the left tackle to the 31-yard line. Slowed by Mike Zikas, then by Walt Patowski, 85, and finally Eric Patton, 45, but only after the quick darting arm, Cantrell picks up a first down at the Notre Dame 31-yard line. Tigers moving from their 40 at the start of the second half, receiving the kickoff. And the length of the drive at the moment is 29 yards. LSU is getting a few yards on the ground for a change. Hamilton to the right side and off the line. Eye behind Jones with Shorey and Cantrell. Cantrell with the ball up the middle. Fumble! Recovery by Notre Dame at the Irish 27-yard line. Jim Mazurka, number 47, has the ball. They're placing it on the 26. And the Tigers give up their second possession on a fumble. Kadish makes the tackle. Mazurka the recovery for Notre Dame. And the Irish stop the Tiger drive at the Notre Dame 26. 14-0. LSU on 2 pass plays. Jones to Hamilton. 36 and 32 yards and 2 points after, converted by Jay Michelson. That's it. 14-0 third quarter. Gulius with the ball. Wide to the right side. Makes a cut to the 35-yard line and dumped after he gets the first down by Ronnie Essay. But Gulius, hitting to the right side of the line offensively, had the yardage at the time contact was applied by Ronnie Essay from LaRose. The Irish now from their 38-yard line, trailing LSU 0-14. Tom Gatewood sets up on the line to the right, and Ed Gulius is to the left. In the left slot is Parker, Larry Parker, 26. Handoff goes to Andy Huff, and he goes busting up the middle for about 5 or 6 yards. Jack Kimmett made the tackle behind the line with some help from sleight of hand artist Tyler LaFosse. The ball is at the Notre Dame 44-yard line. Second down, 4 to go on the 6-yard gain up the middle by Andy Huff, number 20. High for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish on Dotting. Parker to the left. Gulius set wide to the left. Parker with the ball. Rams right up the middle. Picks up about 2 yards. Some help on the tackle there by one of the Irish forward linemen. And the play ends at the 49-yard line. John Wood in on the tackle with LaFosse for LSU. First down on the play. And the Irish have the ball 1st and 10 at their 49. The clock beginning again with 10 minutes left in the third quarter. LSU now with a 5-man front facing this strong eye set to the left. And again the handoff goes to the tailback. That's Parker right up the middle. S.A. meets him 2 yards up the field, 1 yard inside LSU territory. Tiger defensive line is outweighed substantially, but is really quick on the movement at the snap of the ball in this game. Parker out. Replacement in for him is Bill Gallagher. Lining up at tailback and then moves out of it to the right. Gulius is set to the left. Here's Brown rolling out to the right side. Keeps the ball, makes the turn, and is racked up after gaining 1 yard. Capone and Richard Piku. So now it's third down for the Irish. And now about 2.5 yards inside LSU territory at the 47.5. Parker back in, and Gallagher goes to the bench for Notre Dame. Racine is replaced by Staggs for LSU, and we have Randy Nycar in the game at defensive tackle, placing Tyler LaFosse for the Tigers. Slot to the left. Brown at quarterback, third down at about 6.5, gives off to Gulius, reverse play to the right side. He's the 45 and has really stumbled down. A hard tackle by Jim Gainey and then Warren Capone at the 45. Gain of 2.5 yards. That's 4th down for the Irish and 4 to go. The punter is on the field, Brian Doherty. Tommy Casanova will be a single safety for the Tigers. He's standing on the 10. 8 minutes 20 to go in the third quarter. LSU clings to a 14-0 lead. Doherty gets the snap. The Tigers with a big rush. Kick is going to be short and off to the right. He was harassed badly behind the line, and the kick is marked out at the LSU 25-yard line. So there is a kick of 20 yards length, and the Tigers come up with better than expected field position. LSU ahead by 14-0. 8 minutes and 9 seconds to go in quarter number 3. And a timeout has been called. Timeout in the game here at Tiger Stadium with the score, the LSU Tigers 14, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish nothing.
Hey, you ever notice how your car seems to catch a cold in the winter or act like it's about to have a heat stroke in the summer? Texaco's Haviland Super Premium All-Temperature Motor Oil can cure a lot of your car's temperature problems. If you want to lubricate and protect your car's engine to keep it from catching a cold or having a heat stroke, trust Texaco's Haviland Super Premium All-Temperature Motor Oil. 8 minutes and 9 seconds left to go in the third quarter. The Tigers have the football, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line after stopping Notre Dame, who moved from their own 26 down to the LSU 45. A 20-yard kick gives the Tigers some running room to get their offense underway. And it'll be Bert Jones back in at quarterback for the Tigers here this evening.
Sid Crocker, who is on the public address system here, is making a very timely announcement, which we'll repeat in part for you, that season ticket sales are underway now for the LSU basketball season for this year and future seasons. The new Assembly Center, which is just to the north of this Tiger football stadium, will be in operation for the first home game on January the 3rd. It's a gorgeous place, and you'll want to be at courtside when the basketball season begins. Kuzmarovich promises that he'll have a good effort for his team this year. Now, here's a handoff from Jones to Danton, and he tries the left side, picks up practically nothing. Greg Marks trails him down. The ball is near the northeast corner of the playing field on the inbound line from the far side. 7:55 to go in quarter number 3 in this game, and LSU holds a 14-0 lead. Recapping first half statistics, on the ground, LSU had 38 yards, and Notre Dame had 108. In the air, the Tigers 121 and Notre Dame 40. So about an even game in total offense. Jones is back to throw. A long pass out here. Hamilton was trying to elude Ellis. Both men are very fast, and Hamilton was making a cut to the outside. But the flight of the ball took a couple of 3 seconds. And so the cut to the outside, in Jones' estimation, was not the way he had thought that Hamilton would move. We have a discussion on the play. And LSU now is picking up a 15-yard penalty, or half the distance penalty, back to the 12. That's a little more than halfway, gentlemen, for a personal foul, offensive holding against LSU. And so second down back to the 12. And now the LSU Tigers have second down and 23 yards to go for a first down.
Oddly enough, that's the first penalty in this ball game.
Hamilton is set to the right side, and Ledoux is along the sidelines left. And Jones fakes the pass, hands off to Danton, breaks 2 tackles, and is chased down outside the 20 by the last man who had a contact with him, and that was number 81, Jim O'Malley. Right inside linebacker, and they're placing the ball at the 21-yard line. Third down and 14 to go for the LSU Tigers at their 21. 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter. LSU ahead 14-0 here at Tiger Stadium. Tulane is next Saturday at 7:30. Hamilton to the right side, and Jones on 3rd and 13 is the pass. Screen pass. Incomplete to Danton. He didn't want it. Rick Tolman was bearing down on Danton, the intended receiver. That screen pass was defensed very well by the Irish defensive team. 4th down and 13. Mike Crotty is back up on the Notre Dame 43-yard line. Ronnie Estee is backing up to his 7th to punt. Kicking average in the first half, 37 yards for Estee. Low snap from center. He gets the wobbler away. Crotty calls for a fair catch at his 44-yard line, and he goes down to his knees. First down and 10 to go for the Irish, again with good field position at the Notre Dame 44-yard line, a 35-yard kick. And again, timeout has been called. Timeout of this game at Tiger Stadium. And here's the score. LSU 14, Notre Dame nothing.
Hey, do you ever think your car has mice? You know, you turn a corner or hit a bump and it squeaks? It's not mice. It's worse. It's excessive friction. Now, this friction can ruin your car. To get rid of the squeaks, visit a Texaco service station and ask for a Marfac lube job. Marfac won't leak out or dry out. Trust Texaco's Marfac to drive the squeaks out. Six minutes and 43 seconds left to go in the third quarter. LSU in front of Notre Dame, 14-0. The Tigers on the ground have managed to pick up 77 yards in the air. They're 5 for 7 for 124 yards. On the ground, Notre Dame has rushed for 137 yards, and they have been successful on 3 of 10 passes for a total of 40 yards. But the score is the thing, and the Tigers lead it by a score of 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points to nothing, as the tempo of the game has settled down to primarily defense at the present time. Neither team, since the start of the third quarter, has been able to manage much of an offensive threat.
Cliff Brown brings the Irish up to the line of scrimmage again at the Irish 44-yard line. And Brown is back to pass, cocks his arm, pulls the string on one, complete to the tight end, Creaney. He's out of bounds at the 50-yard line or so. And let's see where they're going to put it. They're going to bring the ball back to the point of the down. And apparently, he dropped the ball as he went across the sideline marker back there. Second down and 10. The ball is at the 44, and Creaney seemingly had the ball, but Mike apparently dropped it as he went out of the field of play. Gatewood to the far side, and Ed Julius is to the left. The tight end Creaney is also left, and here's Brown again, going back to throw. Second down and 10. Screen pass up the middle. Parker has it. He has 5 yards. He's pulled down at the LSU 48-yard line. Good tackle by 47, Gary Champagne. Gain of 8, second down play, brings 8 yards, and it's now third down and 2 to go. 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go on the third quarter. Parker has been replaced by Gallagher. Third down, Gatewood and Julius to the left. Also Gallagher is in the slot. Strong side to the wide side to the left. Here's a handoff to Andy Huff, and he's trying for the first down. He's close to it at the LSU 46-07. Ronnie Espay charging ahead with his teammates, and we may have a measurement here. Andy Huff has not been terribly successful in picking up first down on third and fourth down situations in this game. In fact, he's been stopped 2 out of 3 times in the first half, once near the goal line, and the quarterback was pulled down for a loss on the other try. Gain extension, and Notre Dame has picked up a first down at the LSU 46-yard line. So Huff finally gets the thing that he wanted all the way in those crucial situations in the first half. And the Irish have new life at the Tiger 46-yard line. LSU leading Notre Dame 14-0. Wing back right is Gallagher. Cliff Brown off to Gudius. Gudius goes to the right side to the far sideline. Chased out of bounds. Picks up about 2 yards. Tiger lateral pursuit was magnificent on the play in the person of Gainey, who has a heavily bandaged right arm. And also Richard Piku on that side. You may have noticed in watching LSU football this year that linebackers and secondary men, the deeper ones in the tertiary, really have been switched around almost at will. Second down, about 7. Pass, sideline variety to Gatewood, complete. Out of bounds he goes at the 37-yard line in Tiger territory, close for a first down, about a yard short of it. 5:25 to go as the clock is stopped on the out-of-bounds play. We're in the third quarter. LSU holds a 14-0 lead. 36-yard pass completion, Jones to Hamilton. A 32-yard pass completion, Jones to Hamilton. And Michelson's 2 points after, and it's 14-0. Notre Dame has been stopped 3 times deep in Tiger territory. Brown to Gulius. Runs into his own man at the line and picks up maybe a yard. It'll be close again at the 36-yard line this time, and perhaps we'll have another measurement. Notre Dame offensive line is having a lot of trouble with the smaller but quicker LSU defensive linemen. Gain extension, and Notre Dame has picked up another first down. This time again, 10 yards down the field, and the Irish are coming up with some real touchy situations here on measurement. But they have it going. And they've been moving from their own end of the playing field on this drive.
Nothing fancy about the Notre Dame attack. They go to the air, the little short down and outers that if are hit, it is virtually impossible to stop.
Brown and the Irish from the LSU 36. Cliff is back to pass. Lofts one way down the field. Too long for Parker. Threw it to the end zone. Parker, however, had noticed that his defender, Johnny Nagel, was backing up very quickly, so he elected to stop and wait for a spot pass. It was not there. Second down and 10 at the LSU 36. Notre Dame trailing 0-14. And the Irish have a good drive going here. Started back down the field, not too far, but now with a second down and 10 at the LSU 36. Irish are in good field position. Brown rolls back to his left, looking for a receiver, shoots one out here, incomplete, very wide of Ed Julian. And Brown is taking a little abuse from some of the fans here because he's being rushed pretty handily by the LSU defensive lineman. 3rd down and 10.
Tigers were in a fairly deep zone passing formation at the time, and everybody was covered, so Brown just had to deliver it out of bounds.
3rd down and 10 at the LSU 36. Notre Dame still very much in the thick of the battle and showing the fruits of its efforts so far at the Tiger 36, but trailing 14-0. Brown again, back to throw. Nervously shoots it up the field. Intercepted by LSU at the 33. And Warren Capone gets his 2nd of the game. No run back. Tackled by Gatewood, for whom the pass was intended, but Capone comes up with his 2nd interception of the game. And again, the Tigers stop the Irish from South Bend. Quarterback will be Paul Lyons. 1st and 10, Tigers at their 33. Kegley to the left and Ledoux to the right. It is Ledoux off the line of scrimmage. Tight end Michelson to the right. Here's Lyons rolling, giving off to Del Walker, running at tailback now. He makes a turn behind right tackle to his own 35-yard line. Mike Kadish has help on the tackle. The official crowd is 66,996. Second down, 8 to go. The Tigers at their 35 and ahead of Notre Dame, 14-0. Same set, though Ledoux was a little wider this time. And the tight end Michelson is to the left. Here's Lyons running the option left, keeps the ball. He eludes a couple of men, but is crashed down about a yard or so up the field by Greg Marks and Mike Kadish. Marks is 75, last man to get up. Now the Tigers from their 36, 3rd down and 7, ahead by 14-0. Murray for Street and Hamilton for Ledoux for LSU. No defensive replacement for Notre Dame, which is lined up in a 4-4-3. And the left inside linebacker, strong linebacker, is right up on the line of scrimmage. So is the left outside linebacker. Here's Lyons going back to throw, being chased down, not going to get it away. He's down at his 30-yard line. And who is in there to make the tackle? But again, Greg Marks and also number 45, Eric Patton, that strong linebacker we mentioned, who was up on the line of scrimmage. LSU now from its 30 and facing 4th and 13. Mike Crotty, deep receiver, lone receiver on the Notre Dame 30, waiting for Ronnie Essay's kick. And the Irish have a rush on, but now it breaks and they have the return on. Essay, slowly, a kick away. Fair catch signal by Crotty. He falls down from his 32, but it will be the 32-yard line from which the Irish will move. And as they get ready for the play, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the LSU Football Network.
Walter Hill with John Ferguson from Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. LSU in front of Notre Dame, 14-0. We've got 2 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. The Fighting Irish have the football at their own 33-yard line. 1st down and 10 to go. So the Tigers are able to get anything off of Capone's interception, his 2nd of the evening. Have to give the ball back to the Irish at their own 33. This year, Notre Dame has not allowed any points on the board in the 2nd half. It's been 20 games ago, just about, since anybody scored in the last quarter on them. They're a big football team. At the beginning of the year, their offense was somewhat suspect. Right now, let's pick up the Tiger cheer. An enthusiastic yell from the LSU student body down to our left. Here we go back to play.
Now Notre Dame from its 32. Cliff Brown and company out of the wishbone. Brown runs left, keeps the ball. Fumble! Parker, no! Scramble, LSU's ball at the Notre Dame 33. Norm Hodgins falls on the ball, or is it Tommy Casanova? It's Norm Hodgins. Number 30 at the Notre Dame 33-yard line, and the Tigers now have things going downhill. Again, the wishbone offense does not work against the Tiger defense. First down, LSU. Position of the ball at the Notre Dame 33. 18 and 1/2 yards in from the near sideline. Tigers striking to the south. Ken Cavanaugh, tight end, is to the left. Shorey and Cantrell behind Burt Jones. It's Cantrell rocking up the middle, slowed by Cady at the 29-yard line, and down he goes. He gets 4. It's 2nd and 6 to go. 2 minutes and 24 seconds to go in the third quarter here at Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge. And it is from about this spot on the field, the Tigers scored their last touchdown in the second quarter. It's a 14-0 game. Hamilton has caught 2 scoring passes from the quarterback of note in the game right now, Burt Jones. Hamilton is to the left. Here's Cantrell again, trying the middle, picks up a yard. Tracked down by Jim Mazurka, left outside linebacker. They put the ball at the 27. He'll get credit for 2 yards on the carry. Third down and 4. Cantrell taken up for a moment. And Fitz-David goes in. Third down for LSU at the Notre Dame 27. Tigers lead the Irish by 14-0. Statistics are very even except in passing, and the Tigers hold the wide edge there. Tigers have matched the Irish in defensive maneuvers in this game. Jones back to throw, looking for Hamilton. He's got it complete at the 17-yard line, and down he goes. Hit from behind by Mike Crotty, the safety man, but the Tigers have things going. 1st and 10 at the Notre Dame 17. Jones again to Hamilton. They've been playing I throw, you catch since elementary days from Ruston, Louisiana. First down, 10 to go at the Notre Dame 17. A minute to go in the third quarter. LSU ahead 14-0 and threatening again. Kegley to the left and Hamilton is to the right. And off the line. The Tiger Eye with Jones at quarterback, and Jones again is back to throw, looking for Hamilton, complete at the 10. He's out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Ellis again whipped by Hamilton on the play, and it's LSU at the 8. A yard to go about for a first down, and 8 yards for 6 points. 6 points here on this drive by the Tigers after the fumble recovery by Hodgins could put the game out of reach for Notre Dame. Triple I. Cavanaugh moves left out of it, leaving Danton and Shorey. Danton gets the ball. Backed into left tackle. First down. He stopped at the 6-yard line. First down and goal to go for the LSU Tigers. Weakness and pass tackle for Notre Dame. The clock stops with 36 seconds to go in the third quarter. Ball at the south end of the playing field. A packed house watching this game. LSU ahead 14-0, and now the Tigers have 4 downs to make 6 yards and the touchdown. Hodgins recovered a fumble at the 33 in Irish territory, and the Tigers have really whipped it down to the 6. Here's Jones running to the left, keeps the ball. He's at the 5. Touchdown! LSU leads Notre Dame 20-0. Pandemonium has broken loose among the Tiger fans and players, and here's the cheer. Paul Lyons will hold at the 10-yard line, and Jay Michelson will try to make it 3 straight, and the point after department. His boot is good. Timeout on the field. The score, the LSU Tigers 21, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish nothing.
This end, when it comes to supplying you with just the right gasoline, no one does the job better than Texaco. Texaco makes great gasoline, all with one of the most advanced additive packages in any gasoline you can buy. It's specially designed for both better performance and for cleaner air. And what is just right for the car you drive. Remember now, big car, small car, old or new car, you can trust Texaco to have just the right gasoline for you. So the Tigers put 7 more on the board, the first time anybody has scored against Notre Dame in the second half this year. Here's the kickoff.
Dale Miller will be kicking to Dominic and Hill. The ball is going down to Hill at the 12. He's back out to the 20. Filled on a tripping type tackle applied by Joe Winkler. And by the time he gets to the ground, he's at the Irish 30-yard line. First down, Notre Dame at the Irish 30, and now the problem is strictly uphill for Notre Dame. 5 seconds to go in the third quarter. The LSU Tigers, utilizing great speed, are ahead 21-0. And it is a surprise. Wishbone tee. Tigers have an 8-man line. Pitch back comes, and a reverse play is underway. Gatewood rolling out to the right side, being trapped out there by Piku and thrown down for about a 2 or 3 yard gain. And the horn sounds, ending action in the third quarter. That's the end of the third quarter with the score, LSU 21, Notre Dame nothing.
Are you driving around in an older car? Or do you own a brand new car? Whether your car is old or new, Texaco has a gasoline that's exactly right for you. Texaco, the people who sell more gasoline than anybody else in the country, has great gasoline with one of the most advanced additive packages in any gasoline you can buy. Especially designed to help give your car better performance and for cleaner air. As always,
you pick up your car to the man who wears the star for the finest product that can take care of your car at every Texaco station. Clean across the nation. You can trust your car to the man who wears the star, the big bright Texaco star.
15 minutes left to go in the ball game. The Irish had the ball, 2nd and 7 on their own 33. LSU in front 21-0. And Bert Jones is at his greatest here tonight, throwing 2 touchdown passes of 36 and 32 yards to Andy Hamilton, and then scoring himself on a 5-yard run with only 10 seconds left to go in the third quarter. The defense has been just magnificent. Notre Dame in the first half got all the way down to the Tiger 6-inch line, but we're not able to take it in. The Tigers' defense has just been tremendous. And, of course, the offense is complementing it. When they get a chance in a good field position, they've been able to put points on the board.
It's been a Jones-Hamilton ball game so far in scoring, with Michelson chipping in. Jay Michelson, a word or two about him, number 81, a senior from Foley, Alabama, has now kicked successfully in points after 35 out of 36 this year. In field goals, he's 6 out of 9. Now, this college football game tonight here on this field at Tiger Stadium is one of those games that carries with it all of the excitement and glamour that you read about and think about and dream about in college football today. And the underdog LSU Tigers, that is underdog in the minds of Irish fans, have been an upstart crowd in this game tonight. A little faster, a little quicker, and ahead by 21-0. Brown shooting a pass to Creaney, complete for a first down at the 41-yard line. And Staggs makes the tackle with Cassio and Fry. First down, Notre Dame at the Irish 41-yard line. As we begin play in the fourth quarter, teams have switched around, and Notre Dame is now going to our right. Defensive line, Wood, LaFosse, Essay, Cormier. Crashing. Brown shooting a pass out here. Overthrows on the near side. And completes the sink the shoulder of the LSU Tigers on the sideline. Chip Cormier has been shaken up and comes off. It is official now. The LSU Tigers have accepted an invitation to meet the Iowa State Cyclones at the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. The decision was announced a few minutes ago by Carl Maddox, LSU Director of Athletics. The kickoff is scheduled for noon, Saturday, December 18th. 17th appearance of the Tigers in a postseason game. Here's the reverse with Larry Parker carrying to the left side. He's away for 5 yards, 7 yards. He's trying almost for 10. The Irish started this after the Tigers score from their 30. So they're 21 yards up the field with 13:56 to play. 21-0. This is the second meeting ever between these two teams. Last year the Irish won 3-0, and in the foreseeable future the two teams are not scheduled again. Here's that Notre Dame reverse fumble by Gatewood. He's locked up by Johnny Wood and piled up for a loss back at the Notre Dame 39-yard line. Fumble stopped it as Gatewood is being given yardage back up to the Notre Dame 41-yard line, so there's a loss of 10 on the play. The Irish using that reverse play, or a new version of the old-fashioned end around again, and the Irish are using it a lot in this game. Chris Brown at quarterback, the sophomore for Notre Dame, has Parker set wide to the right, gives to Gillius, weak side run to the left, out of room, racked up for a 1-yard loss at the 40. Estee and Wood stopped him from going to the outside, and the other Tigers come up to make the tackle. So now it is third down for Notre Dame and 21 yards to go from the Irish 40, and the Tiger effort is on the ascent. 21-0. LSU surprising Notre Dame and showing a great deal of strength. And as the saying goes, the Tigers seem to be putting it all together here tonight. Brown is back to throw. Third down, long yardage. Puts one out here to Parker. Completed midfield. He'll get yardage to the 40. He's out of bounds on the near side. Still running at the 25. Right on the sideline marker. Did not step out of bounds and gets big yardage on the play. So 35 yards on the pass completion for Parker, and it's first down Notre Dame at the LSU 25. Parker slightly shaken up on the tackle. Several Tigers deep defenders in on the play. Nagel and Hodgins, Casanova, first down Notre Dame at the 25-yard line. Up the middle goes Andy Huff. Short yardage. Filled up the middle by Warren Capone, who's had a great game tonight. He's had 2 pass interceptions. Ball is placed at the LSU 21-yard line. Second down and 6 to go. Frank Racine in at safety. John Staggs out. Darryl Dewan, number 10, is in the game. Also Bill Gallagher in the backfield. Here's the Irish wishbone tee. Pitch out going to Dewan. Wide sweep left. Runs into Hodgins. Hodgins has help, and there's a short gain on the play. Racine and Hodgins and Capone and Lloyd Fry. But it was Hodgins who had the first contact at, they say, the 19. It's third down and 4. Gallagher brings the play from the far side. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish facing a real struggle now, behind 0 to 21. Skip Comier's back in the game at defensive end for LSU. The wishbone. And here's Brown passing off it, looking for Gatewood in the end zone. It's intercepted. Intercepted by the Tigers in the end zone. And the man who gets it is Tommy Casanova. And the Tigers will put the ball in play at their 20 on the touchback, and LSU has intercepted Cliff Brown 3 times in the game. And this one, a beauty, stealing a sure touchdown from Tom Gatewood in the end zone. What a great Tiger effort in this game. 14th-rated LSU Tigers against the 7th-rated Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and the Tigers are carrying the battle more than the Irish won. First down LSU from the 20. Jones at quarterback from the strong eye. Off to Shorey, right through the middle. He's up to the 30, the 31, the 32, and Crotty makes the stop at the 32-yard line. A 12-yard gallop for Rustin Allen Shorey.
On the interception, Gatewood ran a deep post pattern. Casanova stayed with him stride for stride. And just as the ball crossed the end zone, Kaz jumped for it, made a beautiful reception, and the Tigers now have picked up another first down at the 32.
Jones has the Tigers at the line against the 4-man front. Jones is giving the ball to Ledoux. The reverse play to the left side. Open to the 40. Ledoux to the 50. He's out of bounds at about the 50-yard line. Chased out by Rouse Stepaniak. And so LSU comes up with the wide rush play, the reverse play, and Ledoux gets it. And Walter, the Tigers didn't run it quite as deeply as they have in previous games.
They didn't, Notre Dame did not get the penetration.
And so first down, the Tigers up there 49. A 29-yard drive underway, and LSU has the effort moving on the positive side. A 5-man, 6-man line set up by Notre Dame, now dropping off as a linebacker. And here's Jones giving off to Shorey, bumps right up the middle for about a 2 or 3 yard gain. Mike Zikas makes the tackle, number 79, at the Notre Dame 47. 10 minutes to go in the ball game, and the score is LSU 21, Notre Dame nothing. Jim O'Malley out of the game, and another defender who can cover the pass is in for Notre Dame, Ken Sleep. The Irish have not lost very many games in past years. These two teams, unfortunately, are not on each other's schedule in those that have been announced so far. Slot formation to the right. Ledoux is out in the slot. Jones, at quarterback, a long count, takes the ball, rolls off, gives off to Cantrell, and he wades over right tackle for about 2 or 3 yards. To the 44, and it will be third down and about 3 to go. Mike Zikas tackles for Notre Dame. Hamilton 2 touchdowns. Jones has thrown the ball to Hamilton twice, and Jones has scored once. And Michelson has kicked all 3 points after. It is a 21-0 game for the LSU Fighting Tigers over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Ledoux left and Hamilton right. Michelson out of the triple I to the right. Here is the pass back to Jones. He reverses. Being chased behind the line by Patowski and thrown down for a big loss all the way back to the LSU 38-yard line. And Walt Patowski has pulled off the defensive play that had been expected of him on many occasions in this game. And Jones takes the shot from the big man at defensive left end. Well, we'll have to count up the yardage lost on that one. 18. 4th down, long yardage to go for a first down. 21 yards to go, and Estee is back to punt, kicks it. Crotty calling for a fair catch at his 28-yard line. And Notre Dame will put the ball in play from the Irish 28. And if the Irish have some secret plays, now is the time for them to start out with it following Estee's 34-yard kick. There's a timeout in the field here at Tiger Stadium on the campus of LSU and Baton Rouge. The score, LSU 21, Notre Dame nothing.
Remember, fans, no matter what time of the year it is, it's the right time to give your car's cooling system the guaranteed protection of Texaco antifreeze coolant. In summer, it protects against blown away. In winter, against freeze-up. But all year round, it protects against corrosion, rust, and clogging. So don't put off putting in Texaco antifreeze coolant. Fully guaranteed, with used according to your car maker's application instructions. You'll find it at your local Texaco retailer. 8 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the ball game. LSU in front of Notre Dame by a score of 21-0. The Irish have the football. First to get at their own 28.
Ticket orders for the Sun Bowl game between the LSU Tigers and the Iowa State Cyclones will go on sale at the LSU Athletic Business Office beginning at 8 o'clock Monday. Jack Gilmore, Assistant Athletic Director for Business, is making this announcement at this time. Prices are $6 per ticket, plus 25 cents per order for postage and handling. Tiger fans may order any number of tickets. First and 10, Notre Dame from the Irish 28, and Brown is back to pass, playing catch-up ball, and Brown finds nobody open. Now he does. Way down the way is Julius, incomplete. Julius covered by Hodgins, Winkler, and Racine. Second down and 10. The game between the Southeastern Conference and Big 8 Conference representatives will be played in the Sun Bowl at El Paso, Texas on Saturday, December 18th. And those of you who follow LSU football know that the Tigers have lost this year to Ole Miss and Alabama at midseason and to Colorado while winning all the rest of their games. Second down, 10 play, Notre Dame. Screen pass play call. It's complete. Creaney behind the line. He charges up to the 35 and is spun down by Boyd Perry at the 36-yard line. Not a first down. Colmier is in on the action also to help Boyd Perry. Third down and 3. Iowa State, by the way, a member of the powerful Big 8 Conference, coached by Johnny Majors, former Tennessee star. And Iowa State was this year beaten by Nebraska and Colorado and lost one other game. Slot formation to the right. Gatewood is in the slot. Set up by Parker. Pass going to Gatewood. Complete at the 40, and he's running along the near side to about the 50-yard line. Casanova and Racine stop the receiver, Tom Gatewood, who's a first-rate football player. Officially, the ball is at the Notre Dame 49-yard line. First down and 10 to go for the Irish, trailing 0-21 with 6:58 remaining to be played. Darrell Dewan comes in as a possible receiver, wide to the left. Gallagher is the lone remaining back behind Cliff Brown, who's gone all the way offensively. Brown with the ball, rolls left, chased by Narcar, shoots a pass. It's complete to Gatewood at the 45 at Tiger territory, and he's wrecked up and thrown out of bounds short of a first down by Richard Piku and Frank Racine and Tommy Casanova. Richard Piku, senior, 195-pounder, and we're giving him a few pounds on that quotation, is a string bean sort of a football player and an excellent one who hits really beyond the type of weight he carries. And therefore has been injured a little bit, but is playing beautifully tonight for the Tigers. Here's the reverse. Running out to the left side. Notre Dame has a first down. That's Bob Minix getting his first carry of the game. He's pulled down off his feet at the LSU 36. First down and 10 to go for Notre Dame. Into the game, Brian Capone is linebacker for LSU. Champagne Casio come out. Tigers continuing a policy of playing a lot of people, more than 50 in every ball game in the last 8 or 10 years. 6 minutes and 23 seconds to go in this ball game. Again, a wide slot to the right. With Gatewood there. Brown rolling off to the near side. Shoots a pass up the field to Minix. Incomplete at the 25-yard line. Brown going off balance. And Minix was covered from the rear by Hodgins and Casanova. LSU has tremendous speed in its deep four.
Tigers stick primarily to zone coverage on passing, and that time Minix went right into the middle part of the zone, and Brown had to rush it. He threw it a little bit too low, and it bounced off the ground.
Minix on a wingback position to the right. Brown takes that ball in a short pocket, shoots the pass to the left side, incomplete. A lot of bumping going on out there on that play, but no flag. Nycar and Wood were rushing the passer and partially deflected the ball, perhaps, and that was the occasion for the pass being incomplete.
Incidentally, LSU's opponent in the Sun Bowl, Iowa State, beat Oklahoma State this afternoon by a score of 54-0.
And Dan Novikov, number 50, the regular center for Notre Dame, has been shaken up and is out of the game. Dave Drew is on the field at center. Again, Brown goes back and faking the throw, gives off to Gulius on the draw, and he darts ahead for about 2 or 3 yards. He stops at the 34. We have 5 minutes and 56 seconds left to go in this ball game. And Notre Dame is facing a 4th down and 8 at the LSU 34-yard line and will go for it. Castillo for Capone at the last minute linebacker. Again, Brown takes the ball on 4th down and 8. Shoots the pass out here to Gatewood, complete at the 25. He's out of bounds at the 24-yard line. And Brown puts the ball adroitly between Casanova and Pichu into the hands of Tommy Gatewood, and the Irish, in going for a 4th down and 8, come up with the first down. Darryl Dewan back in the game as receiver. First down for Notre Dame at the LSU 24-yard line. The Irish started this back on their own 28-yard line, their best drive of the game. And here's a handoff going to Gallagher, dumped by Estee at the middle at the 21-yard line. Castillo is in to help. Estee has really been tough on those Notre Dame guards in this game. Second down at the 21. 7 to go for Notre Dame. Score 21-0 LSU with 5 minutes and 10 seconds left to play. Strong eye to the left. Dewan is out on the wing, and here's Brown going back to throw. He's ready to get one away. He shoots it incomplete. Freeney was open at the 10, and Brown threw the ball to the goal line. Rushing the passer, Ronnie Estee, and he was really giving him a lot of trouble. Brown is now 11 for 28 for 137 yards. And of course, 3 interceptions. Notre Dame is acting offensively as Mifflin has moved space in the defensive charge, and the Tiger defensive team has deployed in this game. Third down at the 21, 7 to go. LSU territory, Notre Dame with the ball. Brown passing. It's to Dewan. It's complete at the 14-yard line. Close for a first down at the 14-yard line. Darryl Dewan receives, and Tommy Casanova tackles. And we probably will have a measurement. The chain will have to be brought in about 3 or 4 yards, and it will be extended, and here's the view of it. 4:52 to play, and Notre Dame has not quite made a first down. 4th down, inches to go. Notre Dame in the first half, and perhaps this is the thing that turned the game around in favor of the LSU Tigers, could not get first downs on 4th down and very short yardage, sometimes inches to go in the first half on 3 occasions, and deep in LSU territory. Once at the goal line, and twice inside the 10. Julius is to the right. Gallagher is the remaining back behind the quarterback, Brown. He likes to go himself on plays of this type, does here, and picks up the first down on a quarterback sneak to the 11th. First down, Notre Dame. Estee makes the tackle with Perry. Tigers again next year play an 11-game schedule, beginning with College of Pacific, University of Pacific. Auburn returns to the schedule. Normal Southeastern Conference opponent. Florida returns. Tulane returns. Colorado goes on but returns after a year. 1971 season with one more game to go against Tulane on this field next week. Here is Parker rolling out to the left side. He gets to the 10, and that's as far as he can go. And is he really punished by Warren Capone and John Wood? Notre Dame down deep. And here's a 10-second pause for station identification. This is the LSU Football Network.
And this is Radio 87 in New Orleans, WWL.
All things considered, a pretty quick game. 3:38 to go in the contest, and Notre Dame has the ball second down and 9 at the 10. Here's Brown, weak side keeper to the right side, almost a bootleg. He charges down to about the 7. That same Moffley bang. Third down for Notre Dame at the south end of the field at the LSU 7. That's right. Ball game. And the rest of this particular drive started back at the 28. So the Irish have come 69 yards. 65 yards to the time to pass.
Bon, alors tout le monde est heureux.
He's in the end zone. It's the good for a touchdown. Gatewood jumps up behind the defenders, handicapped the moment, and so it's now 21-6. Brown will stay on the field, and Notre Dame will go for 2 points. 2 minutes and 54 seconds to play in the game. Notre Dame has finally put a score on the board. With the 21-6 score, the Irish will apparently go for 2 points. They need another player. Bob Minix is coming on. 72-yard drive, and the pass went from Cliff Brown to Tom Gatewood in the end zone. A 7-yard scoring pass. Strong eye to the right with Gatewood set left. Brown going for 2 points. Rolling to the right, shoots a pass, completes to Minix for 2 points, and the score is 21-8. Timeout on the field. The score now, the LSU Tigers 21, Notre Dame 8.
When it comes to choosing your gasoline, trust Texaco to have just the right gasoline for you. All their gasolines have one of the most advanced additive packages in any gasoline you can buy on the market today. They're especially designed for both better performance and for cleaner air. So when you need gasoline, no matter what kind of car you drive, trust the people at Texaco. They make great gasolines, and one is just right for you. The Irish go 72 yards in 16 plays with a pass from Brown to Gatewood scoring. They went for 2 and converted. 2:54 left in the ball game, and the Irish now have 8 points on the board. 21-8, LSU in front. We can look for the onside kick here. I see up on the front line are Ledoux, Kegley, those who are used to handling the football. The backs on the second line of defense, Shorey's out there, Kavanaugh's there, Chris Stanton's there. The restraining lines have been altered, as Walter has told you, and we will have Scott Smith kicking. The deepest receivers for LSU are back at the 20. They are Lyons and Cantrell. And so here comes Scott Smith. Notre Dame expected to try some version of the onside kick, and here's the onside kick attempt. It is recovered by LSU's Jimmy Ledoux at midfield. On a one-hopper, Ledoux takes the ball shortstop style at the 50-yard line. And the Tigers have first down and 10 yards to go. The quarterback will be Paul Lyons. And still the Tiger fans are crying for more counters. 21-8 is the way it stands. LSU on its way to a 7-3 record for this year with Tulane remaining. A gap 6 line defense, and here's Lyons rolling out to the left on the option, keeps the ball. He has 5 yards, he has 8, and is crashed down at the 42-yard line. Greg Marks trailing the quarterback
on the tackle, along with Swinton, Crotty, and Coleman. Second down and 2 for Lions and the Tigers. Tearaway jersey for Lions is almost all gone. 2.5 minutes to play in this game. The LSU Tigers and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish ending up 1-1 in their short line football series. Great game last year and a great one again here this evening. And the handoff goes to Danton, and he smacks into the left side for a first down off his feet and piled up at the Notre Dame 39-yard line. 2 minutes and 7 seconds to go in the game. Well, the Greenies from New Orleans have had their ups and their downs this year, but have great material and have a strong team that will come onto this field next week to conclude the 1971 regular season. Then the Tigers on December the 18th at noon will play the Iowa State Cyclones of the Big 8 in the Sun Bowl game at El Paso, Texas. First down, Tigers at the Notre Dame 39-yard line, and again, Lions runs the option. Chase, pull down, no gain. He was slowed behind the line by Eric Patton and then polished off by Mike Cady and Jim O'Malley. Second down and 10. Timeout has been called by Notre Dame with 1:29 to go, and the Irish are on their way down the drain in this game. While there is a timeout, let's remind you here that the score is the LSU Tigers 21, Notre Dame 8.
You ever notice how your car seems to catch a cold in the winter or act like it's about to have a heat stroke in the summer? Texaco's Avalon Super Premium all-temperature motor oil can cure a lot of your car's temperature problems. If you want to lubricate and protect your car's engine to keep it from catching a cold or having a heat stroke, then trust Texaco's Avalon Super Premium all-temperature motor oil. 1 minute, 29 seconds left to go in the ball game. Coming into this ball game, Notre Dame has scored 52 points in the first quarter, 60 in the second, 48 in the third, and 47 in the fourth. They were just able to put 8 points on the board in the waning minutes of the ball game against LSU tonight. The Tigers seemingly on their way to winning victory number 7 of the year.
Tiger offense has been comparable to that was flashed in the Florida game in the middle of the playing season. Probably the most efficient night offensively the Tigers have had up to this point. And defensively, the LSU effort tonight has no doubt been its finest of the year. Against top-grade opposition, and the Tigers have contained the Irish and have had the big plays when the clutches demanded it. Second down at 10. Here's the run to the left by the quarterback, Paul Lyons. He's at the 30, bumped out of bounds at the 27-yard line. First down, LSU. Kadish and Marks and Crotty tackle for Notre Dame. First down, the Tigers. Paul Lyons running the football. He's the second rusher to Cantrell on the Tiger team, and also a quarterback of some note, completing 50 out of 108 passes into the game. The Lions have not played a great deal in this game. Bert Jones has been the man with the arm. He's thrown to Hamilton twice for scores and has scored once on a keeper play himself, and Michelson has done the converting. The Notre Dame score, a pass, Brown to Gatewood, and a 2-point pass after touchdown, Brown to Minix. Run up the middle by Benglis. He's at the 20. He's at the 15. Benglis at the 10. Out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Jim Benglis on a fullback dive play right up the middle, finds the gap open, and barrel houses down to the 9, and the Tigers are threatening again. Crotty chased Benglis out of the field of play. Well, the Irish have given up 28 points to Southern California, and then no more than 7 to any other team. 1:17 to go in this game, 1 minute, 17 seconds. First down, goal to go for the Tigers at the 9. Here's Lyons. Hands off to Danton. Danton at right tackle is thrown down at about the 6 or 7. Tackle real hard there by safety man Mike Crotty, and also Jim O'Malley. Probably O'Malley did the greater part of the punishment. Northwestern scored 7 against Notre Dame. So did Purdue, Pittsburgh, and Tulane. Southern California scored 28, and Michigan State got 2. We have a man with a shoe off down there, and that's Walt Patowski. He's finally ready to go. 43 seconds to go in the game. The clock is moving. The Tigers have 2nd and goal to go from about 6.5 yards out. Strong eye to the right. Here's a run to the left on the counter, and Lyons can't get rid of the ball. He was looking for Ledoux, but Ledoux might have been covered by Tobin, and so the lineman leading the way, Patowski, tackle Lyons, and the Tigers have called for timeout. Lyons loses yardage back to the 13-yard line. 25 seconds of playing time remaining. Once before the game this year, the Irish have scored 8 points, and that was against Purdue when the Irish pulled it out in the late stages of the game after recovering a Boilermaker fumble deep in Purdue territory. The final score of that game, 2nd of the year for Notre Dame, was 8-7. So again, the Irish have 8 points on the scoreboard, but LSU, Fighting Tigers from the Bio Country, have 21. Reviewing quickly the LSU season so far, Colorado bested the Tigers 31-21. And then the Tigers beat Texas A&M easily, outscored Wisconsin, beat Rice and Florida easily, squeaked by Kentucky, then lost a close game to Ole Miss up at Jackson, and in one of the year's great games, lost to Alabama 14-7, and then bested easily Mississippi State last week. 3rd down and goal to go from the Notre Dame 13 for LSU, ahead 21-8, and 25 seconds left to play. Paul Lyons, the quarterback. Will he pass? He has the ball. Rolls back off to the right. Will throw. Shoots it down there to Hamilton. Open touchdown! Nobody near Andy Hamilton. Is the score. LSU ahead of Notre Dame, and Jay Michelson will try to go 4 for 4 in points after. Paul Lyons will hold. Notre Dame being bested easily by LSU here tonight. Michelson's kick is perfect. Time out on the field. The score, LSU 28, Notre Dame 8.
Well, the Tigers go 50 yards in 8 plays. And with only 20 seconds left to go in the ball game, they put 7 more on the board. They're now out in front of Notre Dame by a score of 28-8. And of course, this huge crowd here is just aesthetic. Just aesthetic. Here's the Tiger Band. We notice that many of the students have come out of the stands. They've jumped over the fence that has been installed here at Tiger Town recently. And like Copley, it grows. The cheerleaders and the coaches are trying to keep them away from the field.
Well, the excitement is the thing that reigns supreme right now. And the Tigers have their fans ready to charge on the field. Notre Dame is being beaten by LSU 28-8. And here is a kick by Michelson down the field. It is taken at the 24-yard line. That's Gallagher coming back out to the 45 and to the 46-yard line. 13 seconds left to play in the game. Ball is placed back at the Irish 45-yard line. Notre Dame battling from behind, but too far away to catch up. It's been a Tiger night. LSU came out with the big spirit, the big zing at the opening gong, and they've been going ever since. Illegal motion against Notre Dame. Long pass by a new quarterback in the game. It's incomplete. Pat Steenberg is the quarterback, number 11. Just come on to throw a long pass. Incomplete. Notre Dame in motion illegally. 8 seconds left to play in the game. It doesn't matter. We have many thousands of people ready to charge on the field. The police are doing the best they can, but they'll not contain this crowd. Not often do LSU crowds barge on the playing field, but this will be one. 5-yard penalty against the Irish, back to their 40 for illegal motion. 28-8 is the score. An exciting night in an exciting year of college football for LSU. Steenberg again, way down the field of Townsend. It's incomplete at the 20, and 1 second remains to be played. So the crowd comes on the playing field, and we may not have an opportunity to play another play. We have about 15,000 people on the field, and I think probably they'll just call it off from here on. 1 second remains on the scoreboard clock, and the officials are going to say it's no good. This game is over, and there are too many people on the playing field. The Tiger players and the Notre Dame players are intermingled among the fans. And the horn sounds. Officially, the game is being called over, completed, and LSU is a big victor, surprisingly strong, 28-8 over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And the Irish, a disappointed group from South Bend, are making their way back to their dressing room under the stands at the southeast corner of this mammoth bowl. The Tigers' Sun Bowl invitation has been accepted, and LSU will play against Iowa State in the Sun Bowl at El Paso, Texas, the afternoon of Saturday, December 18th. The Irish record, 8-2, and that's all for Notre Dame for 1971. And LSU is now 7-3 with arch rival Tulane remaining to be played next week on this same field. It's been a big night for Coach McClendon and the LSU Tigers, a disappointing one for Notre Dame. Walter Hill has the final words in a minute. Again, the final score here at Tiger Stadium on the campus of LSU. The LSU Tigers 28, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 8.
We are the men of Texas.
Well, it's all over. And this has to go down as one of LSU's greatest victories. This is the game people have been waiting for more than 5 years. And, of course, the football team's been waiting for it since last year. They felt they played well enough to win up in South Bend, but they didn't. They lost it 3-0. So they dedicated themselves this year to winning this football game. They had a great week's work. I know on Thursday I had a chance to talk at length with Ronnie yesterday, and he told me, Walter, he said, we want this more than any other football game we've ever had here in Tiger Stadium. Well, they went out and they got it. And they scored in every quarter of the ball game, just as they did last week against Mississippi State. First Tiger touchdown came in the first quarter on a 36-yard pass from Burt Jones to Andy Hamilton. In the second quarter, a 32-yard pass from Burt Jones to Andy Hamilton connected. In the third quarter, a 5-yard run by Burt Jones, and in the fourth, a 13-yard pass from Paul Lyons to Andy Hamilton. Hamilton was just amazing out here this evening. We don't keep individual statistics, but he has to have had more than 140 yards in pass receptions tonight. In the air, the Tigers completed 8 of 10 for a total of 156 yards. On the ground, the Tigers rushed for a total of 143 yards. Notre Dame, meanwhile, rushed for 168 yards. Cliff Brown completed 13 of 31 passes for 151 yards. In first downs, the Tigers got 14. Notre Dame got 16. As far as mistakes are concerned, the Tigers lost 2 fumbles, but the Tiger defense was certainly to the occasion tonight. stopping Notre Dame in the first quarter at their own 1-yard line. Brown was intercepted 3 times. The Tigers converted 2 of those into touchdowns. They lost a fumble, so it was not a good night for Notre Dame at all. Once again, though, the Tigers win it by a score of 28-8. They play Tulane here at Tiger Stadium next Saturday night. Kickoff will be at 7:30 the regular time. And then on December the 18th, they will journey to El Paso, Texas to play in the Sun Bowl against Iowa State, a winner over Oklahoma State 54-0 today. The students have just about dismantled the north goal post. They've got one of the arms down, one of the uprights is down, and they're working on the other one. There's a big, huge mass of humanity on the playing field at the present time. They filled it out onto the playing field. With only 1 second remaining, the officials decided to go ahead and call it over. So it was a great victory for LSU tonight, defeating Notre Dame here. The second time they've played, and unfortunately the Irish will not be back on the Tiger schedule anytime in the near future. But it was a great game for LSU. They can wind up next week against Tulane. They'll wind up, if they are successful against Tulane, they'll wind up with an 8-win and 3-loss record. As we said before, they will play in the Sun Bowl on December the 18th against Iowa State. So, once again, the final score, LSU 28, Notre Dame 8. For John Ferguson, this is Walter Hill saying good night from